A Tamara's Productions.
Na diva is a female version of a hustler, of a hustler.
Hello, everyone. How's everybody doing? How's everybody doing tonight? Oh, now, see, they've been good all day. Okay, they've been good all day. They should be good and sleepy because I put them in their little tub and gave them a bath. They should be sleepy. How is everybody doing tonight, y'all? We're waiting on Mr. N to come into the room. I had found some of my intros that I played for my TV show. I decided to put it on here. I need to do another intro, as a matter of fact. Some more intros. But I hope everybody is doing good tonight. You guys, we are waiting for Mr. N to come in. In the meantime, I want to acknowledge everybody that's in here. Shout out to Justice for Doll for being the first one up in here tonight. Let's see. Black Barbie, Tony, Miss Nelly, Diane, Anissa. Did I say Miss Nelly? Black Barbie, Miss Muffin, J Air, Divine Black Rose, Actual Treasure, Positive Vibes, Imperfect Earth Angel, Miss Shanban. Let's say Be Knowledge, Tamara J, Edward Potts. I don't want to miss nobody. Rochelle, is that Jacqua? BM, I'll just say BM. I need to make sure I send him the right link too. Blackout, is that Nisi? Cecilia, hey Cecilia, The Real. How is everybody doing tonight? I'm glad you all came out. That what's up, the Alabama hitter? Who is that? Is that Sunday? Let me make sure I send Mr. N the right link, because I know I'm bad about doing it. Mess around and send the wrong link. Let me see. Oh, okay. I did. I sent him the wrong link, y'all. I don't know what link I sent him. He said I sent him. I don't know, but I just sent him the right link though. I was moving too fast. That's what I was doing. Because I know Mr. N normally be in the back chat, at 7:00. That's why I had to think about that. I was like, let me go and make sure I send him the right link. So Mr. N is gonna come on tonight, listen and pop his stuff. Shout out to Mr. N for thinking about me, for even coming on, blessing Real Talk with Tamara show. When he comes on, the last time he was on, he did a really amazing job. Okay, Mr. N has had a lot of accomplishments, right, around the Memphis area, producer, an accomplished producer, and he seems to be keeping up with the times because he's starting to, as the industry progresses, he tends to be moving right along with that as far as like um the okay, so he's seen it, so he saw it. If he's listening, he could just click that link and then he'll be in the back. He'll be in the back chat. It's going to be a lot of quiet haters. He seems to be keeping up with the times as far as the technology part of it, and that's a good thing to do, you know. Especially, I guess, if you're going to be in an industry, you kind of have to advance with it and move as it moves. And sometimes people have a hard time with doing that. You know, I was listening to a rapper the other day. Hey, and he came from my time. I really like that rapper. You know, he had been in jail a lot. He was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna put out an album." I don't. Do people even still put out albums? I don't know. I there, a lot. You hear a lot of entertainers say that they kind of shy away from social media, but they want to put out albums when people are now, social media is a really, really, really big part of it. What's up, Mr. N?
What's going on? How you doing this evening, Tamara?
I'm doing real good. Listen, I had to think, I was like, let me go and make sure. Because I thought when I sent you the first thing, I was moving too fast. I thought I had actually sent you the link. And when I didn't see you in the back chat, because I was like, I know Mr. N normally be back there. I was like, I bet I didn't send him the right link. I was moving too fast.
No, you got it. You got it. Happy to be back on your show. Um, Seems like they had had a blast last time, and
Yes, they did.
I didn't expect to go that long. Um, I had to get the format of your show as well. I think I dropped too many f bombs or something last time, so now I know that this is like the Cosby Show. You know what I'm saying? This is like,
Well,
you
you
know,
must sound, well, it is.
I ain't gonna do all that when I come over to the Huxtable residence. I ain't gonna do that. You know what I'm saying? And I'll get ready. I'll get ready to do a show regarding things that's going on in Memphis on the political front and things things I'm very concerned with. So it's this this was the perfect preparation for that. But I won't hold back about some of the things that's going on and some of the things that we supposed to be addressing and things like that. And you being the host, I'm gonna let you do what it is the host do, and that's lead us where we're going.
Okay, now I gotta actually elaborate on that a little bit. Now, you said that you've taken an interest in the politics in
No, no,
Memphis.
it's not that I've taken an interest in politics. It's just, I just experienced, just been a young person in Memphis and experienced so many things and got put in so many situations. Also have dealt with the criminal justice system and um, juvenile court and things like that. Now I have colleagues. Now my peers are the who's who of Memphis, from attorneys, real estate, criminal attorneys, civil attorneys, FedEx attorneys, dentists, doctors, psychiatrists, even the company that has the contract with the whole West Tennessee to provide psychiatric services. That is very, very
You going out, Mr. N? Mr. N, are you there? Yeah, I think he's having some connecting issues because
Yeah,
he's
hold on,
going
hold on.
in and
Let
out.
me check. Let me check my connection so we don't
Okay.
have any issues. Let's pause right here for just a second. Just a second. One second. Okay. Are you still there?
Yes.
Okay, I think we're gonna be in better shape now. Yeah, so just being in all those situations and dealing with all of these professionals in different industries who are friends of mine, and just taking a look at what has transpired since I was a young person all the way up until now. And so so much corruption and so much crime and so many people that we love that we lost. And when I look at the rest of the country, Tamara, the large urban center hubs are Memphis, number one largest population of black people. Then Atlanta has now moved to number two, Detroit, Jacksonville, Florida, and I forgot what our fifth one is, but these are the large urban centers, and there's no one, there's just no place on earth like Memphis. It's just,
Mm-hmm.
and that's a good thing because we have so many unique qualities and things that we bring to the table. But it is like the environment. It just doesn't have to be like that. And it's so much corrosion in the city government, so much corruption in and we don't even have to deal with the state, but just the city and the
Mm-hmm.
county. And when you steal $50 million from Memphis City schools, and then you end up in the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court gives you a decision saying, yes, you stole $50 million. You know what I'm saying? And
Mm-hmm.
you still won't accept that. You appeal it, and then you disband the district
Mm-hmm.
because you don't want to pay the $50 million back. And so you're aiming the gun at children at that point. You know what I'm saying? Because
Right.
this I can't be around or be up under the hand of people who are willing to aim the barrel at black children. I don't even want to be around none of that. You feel what I'm saying?
Yes,
Like
I agree.
that ain't it right there. You know what I'm saying? And we know it was way more than $50 million. And what do you think they did with that money? Well, when you steal $50 million, uh, you can't do that. You don't do that alone. So
Oh,
this is a you know what I'm
trust me,
saying?
everybody was in
Right,
agreement and they
right,
lined their
right,
pockets.
right, 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 right. And so no one went to jail for that. If we had Tennessee Waltz to come through there and all of those, but no one was singularly or a group of people responsible for stealing that money. Now, when you go to jail and you got to pay court costs and fines, or when you get a ticket and you got to pay this high ass $180 ticket, or you have to pay some type of fee or fine to the city, we're looking for that money to, number one, go back to help the kids. You feel what I'm saying? Where maybe
Right.
I messed up, but if I pay these court costs and fines, which is supposed to be paying your debt to society along with the time, then this money should go toward the potholes and homeless shelters, and the children getting the proper technology, computers inside the school. At least if I screwed up and I have to learn a lesson as an adult, um, the money that I'm paying is going toward making something better in the community. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And the money is going toward the money that's getting stolen. You feel what I'm saying? That's where it was going because it wasn't. If you take $50 million from Memphis City School, you take it $50 million from the city and the money that's being generated from black folks.
Absolutely. but
And that's just a portion of it. We also got a 10 million, and we get a new mayor in, right? We get a new mayor, we get new blood, Paul Young in. Let's go into the present. We talked about the past a little bit. We go into the present. First 60 days, $10 million bird watching facility. Like, come on, bro. Come on, bro. The $10 million bird watching facility in the first 60 days, and folks hollering about the kids need summer jobs, and why they charging to get in the homeless shelter, and you can't bring no outside food in the shelter, and the man spent 10 million in the first 45 days on a bird watch facility, which was nothing but a government contractor kickback. This a quick cash out. You see what I'm saying? Bow.
Mhm.
Let me give me some bread right off the bat. You feel me?
Right.
These are the people that everybody cheesing next to at the Grizzly game. These the folks everybody taking pictures with and smiling and yeah, black people this and bro, where do we draw the line? You feel what I'm saying?
What, do you ever see yourself running for office?
I don't. I don't. I'm not. I don't. I can answer that very, very quickly for you. And it's
I
not
don't know
because
because the reason I say that is because I mean we need strong
yeah,
people.
yeah. It's not that I'm not capable, because I spoke about who my colleagues are, as well as the city attorney, former city attorney Carlitos Drayton. Very long term relationship with so many people, man. Art Horn, his uncle Anzi Horn, I knew him. Great relationship with Gary Belts. I met the old man Jack while I was working at the Peabody as a teenager. Later on, developed a relationship with Gary that took me all the way to LA, Encino, California, to Las Vegas. A lot of great people, but I don't. I think the person that has that responsibility, it has to be their life.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it has
Okay.
been like now there is a number for me to perform certain jobs that I'm capable of, and there's a number on that job. You feel what I'm saying? But at this point in time, that's not where my interest lies and where I'm directing my energy. You know what I'm saying? So,
Okay. All
but
right.
I think that we need a change on that end. Let's get into
Would you
the rest of
support me?
it.
Would you support me if I ran for office?
Absolutely. I think what office are you thinking of running for?
I haven't decided yet.
I
Maybe
think
school board or something.
that would be dope. That would be dope. Willie Harrington, um, is such a staple, and I don't think any of these people should ever compare themselves to Dr. Willie Harrington. For him to serve as a superintendent and then hold the office of mayor, and so many different things came through and so many different things happened, and him to be able to stand up as a black man and not be part of any scandal when Tennessee Walls came through there, and not be moved by special interest people and the Jewish lobbyists, to be quite frank, um, and to stand and be, that type of guy. I just don't think that any of them can compare themselves to a man of that character, of that integrity. But I think that Dr. Fegans is going down that road, having been the superintendent and seeing what's
Mm-hmm.
going on in the schools.
Oh, absolutely.
Right. And now, but I think what's missing there is a level of awareness that's 360 degrees, because remember, everybody's smiling, everybody's cheesing while they doing the wrong thing. You feel what I'm saying? And
Right.
screwing the city up more and stuffing money in their pocket and smiling. And so it can't go like that. You feel what I'm saying? Because it's why? Because people are suffering. Young people, they don't deserve some of this stuff that's going on. They don't deserve to be put under the constraints, under the pressure. They have to go to school, have to learn how while they're trying to build and make somebody themselves. They don't deserve it, and it can come to an end, especially if we stop pissing off resources.
Right. Now, let me ask you something. With you being in the music industry, you've been in the music industry like what, for over 20 years? You've been in the industry as a whole for over
38.
30. Okay.
38.
38 years. And Memphis, I could step out there and say it, and some people may differ. I look at Memphis as being like almost like a mecca. I just do,
It
you
does.
know.
It does.
And
Go ahead.
but when you think of Memphis and the rap and the sound, along with the mentality, as it relates to the industry, what comes to your mind?
The most talented, unaware, uneducated group on the planet.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And most talented. I mean, raw talent, sheer talent, and talent from the soul, can generate a feeling that could literally change the world. But when it comes down to the level of awareness and the education, Atlanta has a master's and we're in the fourth grade and can't pass the test. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
You know, um,
And why is that?
well, the town has been switched into a uh, blanket of individualism.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone thinks they're an island and they can just do it all by themselves. And it has a lot to do with the programming of pride in us that white folks did. Because I'm too proud to call you and ask you for help. I don't want to ask him, man, because he ain't gonna do nothing but say he think he, you know. This is
Mm-hmm.
this an old formula that the Jews used on sharecroppers in Mississippi. Miss Mary down there, she said you don't never clean your yard. Listen to what I'm telling you now. You feel what I'm saying? And
Right.
Miss Mary Bimo never said that. You see what I'm
Right.
saying?
Right.
But they needed to develop that in order to make money. You feel what I'm saying? They needed to turn us in order to make money. And
Against each other.
still the source of all of this, even with the music industry, even with local politics, is money. Because remember, Tamara, a lot of these people are first generation millionaires. This was the run for their family. This was it. But you don't have to destroy no anybody, you don't have to kill anybody, you don't have to whatever on nobody, you don't have to degrade nobody, you don't have to lie on nobody. That's not that's not a requirement to be successful.
Right.
It's not. It's just not. And actually, you're sending yourself backwards because of the energy you're giving off.
So why so it's basically somewhat like that crabs in a barrel mentality. Why
It's
is it?
programmed. Yeah, that's exactly what it is, but it's programming. It's programming, and it has programming over generations, and they pass it. It's been passed down. It's going into the next generation. You know, she might have bought her son, her daughter, everything she needed to go to prom and to look beautiful, but it's a part of her that resents that she didn't get to do that. You understand what I'm saying? Because she
Hmm.
had to work, or she might have been a teenage mother. You know, there's a lot of reason. Mental health plays a huge part of it as well.
Oh, for sure.
Absolutely, absolutely. But after you put so much wear and tear on the mind with poverty, you understand what I'm saying? You're gonna be crazy. You know, after I have arranged the things in this city so that it's so tough, it's so mentally challenging. After I have devalued the black male as a whole in this town,
Hmm.
the devaluation of the black male in Memphis is a key part of keeping things operating the way that they operate.
Absolutely.
You
Absolutely.
ain't you ain't this.
And there's
Let
a
them
lot of
tell
self
it.
hate too.
Let them tell it. You ain't nothing. But I'm here to tell you that you're more than great, and you are a God under the Most High God. You understand what I'm saying? But these people will paint a picture that there is no value there, and will convince black women it ain't no value in it.
So as a producer, hey, as a producer, how you're a producer, you're a music producer.
Correct.
How do we get away from how do we change that music? Because it's like now, black men aren't interested in making music unless they're devaluing or degrading the black woman.
Well, let me explain it to you. So now we're going to get into we're about to get into the music business now, because as long as they control how you make money, the outlets that you make money through, then you will forever be jumping through hoops to what they say is hot, because they writing your check. You ain't writing your own check. They writing your check. We got people out here spending money right now on videos, recording songs. Don't know if it's ever coming back. All it is to play up to somebody giving you you just going, you just begging. You begging. That's all you doing. That is not a business model. And as long as they have that level of control, then your subject matter, to answer your question, your subject matter, you will try to concoct that so that it is appealing to them, number one, and who they think the audience is, which is, as we know, 80% white. And so when a white person is riding back from Mississippi, or riding through northern Florida, or riding through Oklahoma, and he playing Pooh Shiesty, well, he knows that this is somewhat mostly theatrical, what he's listening to. You feel what I'm saying? Like
Right.
he has enough sense to know that, this is something good to listen to. That's probably the best way I can put it. Or something I think is bumping. I'm coming back from fishing. He coming back from fishing. He not finna go shoot nobody. He not finna go in the house and talk crazy to his wife. He not finna degrade nobody. This is simply what I was listening to on the radio, and this is my entertainment. This is a theatrical audio, if you will. Now, how someone else may process that, a young person, who is facing these circumstances each and every day is going to be totally different.
Mhm.
You understand what I'm saying? So it's also in the person that's consuming, how they process it, and their perspective on life, their perspective on this piece of art, how they take to it. But to answer your question, once you can be your own boss, once you're the one generating the money, you're the one calling the shots, you can make whatever kind of music you want. I got a whole project coming out. Not gonna go too far into it. It ain't rap. It's not rap at all, let alone degrading somebody and shoot somebody.
You sing?
It's a whole different thing. It's a whole different sound. I'm gonna just say that. I'm not gonna get into it, but it's a whole different sound. And I number one, I think once I got to that point, I thank God for that because now I can make whatever songs I want to make. I can make Mary Had a Little Lamb if that's what I want to rap or sing or whatever I want to do. You understand what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Because now we have the information, and that leads me to the point of we're moving into a different space now.
Mhm.
The labels and these people are not concerned with what they used to be concerned with. This is a totally different industry. They're not going to send out a memo and tell you, hey, rappers down in Memphis, we're changing up everything. That's not going to happen, bro. But I'm telling you, I'm giving you some news that you can use that's going to blow your fuse. And I'm going to tell you that the whole industry has already flipped on you. No one's interested in giving anybody major deals. No one's interested in uh they didn't put a lot of money in radio in 25, which is why we didn't have any top 20 records in rap. They're not doing this. That's over. If you want a record deal, then you could go someone like P from QC. You can go to Daddy O or CMG or a Gucci man, some intermediary who would help you develop your talent, who basically gonna give you some money and say, "Hey, do this right here," and that's all you getting. And you could go do some shows, make you some money. I help you build a brand, but I want this. You feel what I'm saying? And
Mhm.
so the labels are not into that anymore. They fired all those people. This is another fact you can go check. You heard about some months back. They let all these people go. They don't need A&Rs and all that stuff. Why? Why? Because the entire music landscape is going to into a state of independence. Dolph just saw it early, knew it early, defied the odds, one of the first to do it, if not the first to do it on that level.
Mhm.
But now, as it stands in 26, it's over, kids. You feel what I'm saying?
Mhm.
It's yeah,
So what
unless
they're doing now, are you saying what they're doing now, Dolph was doing back in 18 and 19? He
well,
was before his time?
what they're putting everyone's not doing it now, but what they're putting everybody in a position to now have to do for themselves is what Dolph
Okay.
was doing. You understand what I'm saying? So
Right.
yeah, because they're interested in CD Baby, which is theirs. They bought that. They have their own distribution brand, which is TuneCore. Universal Music Groups owns that. They bought up several other distribution companies, United Masters. Uh, uh, he can say whatever he wants. That's Universal. Orchard is Sony Universal.
Mhm.
And so they want to control all the distribution points
Mhm.
because they know that the entire landscape is going into a independent state. And to put an exclamation mark on that, not even a week ago, Universal Music Group paid 775 million cash for downtown music publishing, which is the largest holder of independent publishing assets. They want in. Now, interestingly enough, Jay-Z announced maybe what, 4 months ago, Rock Nation Distribution, and now he
Oh,
fleeing the country.
wow.
See, they'll work it out. They'll get your ass on out of here. You feel what I'm saying? If they don't want you in some, they'll get you on out of here. You feel
Oh,
what I'm
okay. So you
saying?
think he's running from?
I'm not even saying that, but just so happened they just paid 1,775,000,000, or right there at $1 billion cash for the largest independent artist publishing company. So clearly, they trying to own the whole thing here. They got CD Baby, they got Orchard, they got Virgin Independent, they got TuneCore, they got United Mouth. This all them, and they just bought the publishing leg. So they're moving right along, and you don't even know that they're not even handing out no more record deals. You feel what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, this is what I mean about Memphis, the most talented, the most brilliant, but maybe the one of the least aware, and not as much music as they making. They got to be more educated. They making a lot of music in Memphis. A lot of music. They pumping a lot of music out of Memphis. And to not know and to understand is just crazy, man.
Let's kind of stay right there for just a few minutes. When we talk about a lot of the artists in Memphis not knowing. And when I think about talented artists, I think about so many talented artists to come out of Memphis. Like, of course, Young Dolph, long live Dolph. Okay. Um, I always talk about that Memphis mentality. And we don't get into that. I ain't trying to get into that too
I mean, it's
quick.
wherever
We're
you
just
want to
talking about
go with
that
it.
jealousy. Where
Yeah,
as my grandmother
man.
used to say, you cut off your nose to spite your face. You can't see past
Well,
that
you gotta
jealousy.
also understand that they're bottlenecking access up until now. Up until now, they were bottlenecking access. Nakia Shine came back from hosting MTV. He told me 25,000 to get a video in rotation. I've been with the man last 2 years. God damn, you charge me 25,000? You feel what I'm saying? Ain't
Right.
nobody straight. Ain't nobody straight, bro. That's how they roll. That's how they roll. That's how they always roll.
Well,
And
why take out a good brother like Young Dolph that seemed to have been open to teaching the recipe since we know he was somewhat before his time?
I mean, I think we all have concluded the answer to that is, you know, or at the core is jealousy. I really do believe that. Knowing both of them, but knowing more, got it more. Spend more time and knowing his nature more. Now I think that Dolph D's poke a stick at it. But it could have stayed on wax. It could have stayed on record. You know what I'm saying? I don't feel like you know it wasn't nothing that couldn't have been dealt with. And I personally, like I said, he was just generating interest for Gotti. You know what I'm saying? Like, he was generating more interest. And a lot of people were saying that, hey, well, Gotti was here first, man. He the original one who did this and did that. And to me, it seemed like it was a healthy debate. It had Memphis on the forefront and the topic of what everybody, even in Miami, you know what I'm saying? Um, it had them on between the two, and it didn't seem like a bad thing. And to me, I would have kept, like I always say, selling tickets to the show
Right.
instead of feeling like, that's how you know for a fact that what Stan is saying is true. These people really would try. He and with all that money. That man trapped in the gangster matrix. That's cold.
That's right.
That's cold.
Shout
Man,
out to
y'all
Stan
think
G.
Stan crazy, man. Y'all think do something wrong.
No,
That boy.
I like it.
No, I'm
Listen,
saying a lot of people just they don't get like his way of coming off, but bro, I don't want 42 Doug, who is a CMG artist, just put up on the Instagram today. I got money. I'm good. I'm not trying to. I ain't miserable. I ain't trying to make nothing of nothing. You know what I'm saying? Well, why didn't that person think like that? You feel what I'm saying?
mm-hmm.
Like, I don't get it. Even to this day, I don't get it. You know what I'm saying? I think I don't know. Niggas just flexing money and just like he called my name out on a record and 50,000, 100,000 ain't nothing to me, and but I don't even think. I think if Juke would have had $5 million, I don't think he would have wanted to kill Dolph. I don't. You feel what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But when you keep everybody at a certain place and don't let that growth happen and don't let situations unfold and let people be great and let niggas blow up and do them and make their mistakes. I think when you just holding and gripping that shit like that,
And got your thumb on them.
yeah, like, bro,
Mm-hmm.
you still look. Let me tell you what the biggest thing about these cats is. With all they done with the money they get and what they done pulled off, nobody still don't like them, bro. Nobody still don't like them, and it bother them. It bother them.
You think
That
your God is bothered?
everybody, every last one of them that had a hand in this, they realized, yeah, you did that, blah blah blah. But bro, don't nobody mess with you, bro. Don't nobody like you, bro. You ain't it, bro. See, I'm gonna tell you something about Charleston White. Before he got on the internet and started talking all this junk, he stood in the city council meetings talking that junk, talking that crazy stuff to white folks about the rights of poor black people in the city. He worked with children. He worked in the community. I would advise these guys, man, to really do some community work and some stuff that's gonna bring them some good karma. Because as it stands, nobody likes them, and their energy is bad, bro. For real, for real.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you can't. You can. That's why they wouldn't drop an album, because you can't throw that kind of marketing dollars at too many people don't like you, bro. We can't win this. You feel what I'm saying? Like, we can't just keep spending money to trying to market something when people don't like you. You know what I'm saying? That's why it's not a budget for well, let's do a so and so album. Nah, bro. Nobody don't want to hear it.
Mm-hmm.
Straight up. Yeah, and,
So,
and y'all and they slick their way through this, slick their way through that. They did this, but guess what? At the end of the day, these people still can see through all that, and they turn their back on and they don't want to hear it. You can get on there and say whatever you want, bro. No one wants to hear it, bro. You just making a bigger clown show as you go. That's all you doing. Yeah, because when
mm-hmm.
you sow them type of seeds right there, ain't no coming back.
Mm-hmm. And you're referencing that at who? Yo Gotti
I'm talking
solely or everybody?
everybody had a. I'm talking about Yo Gotti, CMG, whoever is affiliated, had a hand in it, was part of it. That any of them, take your pick. And how can you get good energy out of that? Even if they listening right now, sit there and lie to yourself and tell yourself how can you get a good reciprocating energy from
from that whole situation, bro.
Oh,
You
yo,
feel
got
what I'm
it.
saying?
Biggest fan of the show. I always make that joke.
You just you the people ain't your the people don't want to they just done. And I don't gotta say nothing. I don't gotta call nobody no liar, you know. And I'm gonna tell you something else. With this recent story came up that yo got a truck got shot up 60 times.
Mm-hmm.
It's giving y'all wanna be dog, bro. Damn, man, y'all wanna get y'all truck shot up. I'm tired of this shit. I'm sorry, I'm my bad. I forgot we on the
No,
call.
no, no. Let's let's
I
let's
forgot.
let's let's let's
I
let's talk
forgot. I
about that.
forgot.
Now, when you talk about
I'm saying I don't know if that's true or not. I don't. I honestly don't know if that's true or not. I do know that if something like that happens, there would be pictures. So if there's pictures, then we'll see pictures of it. And if it's, we I exercise common sense. Okay, who shoot who? Do you think you can go shoot up a 19 any kind of car and it don't make the news with
especially
60
in
bullets?
Winchester, as busy as Winchester is.
And at that time, that truck was Tiffany blue. So nobody know nothing about none of these, knowing no pictures. They shot up the truck. Man, it's giving y'all wanna be dog, bro. I'm just calling it straight up, bro. I may until we get some pictures or a police report or something like that. It just giving y'all go on make your 100 shot song, God. God damn, man. I don't know what's going. Go on make your 100 shot song. God, man, y'all don't let that man be great, even in his memory and his past, man. Man. I guess I need to go get my car shot up 100 times. I guess that's just what the trend. I don't know what this about. That is wild news, and I'm not saying because I was not there. So like I said, I don't have to call nobody no lie. I'm just exercising common sense. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
Let me tell you something else. Common sense. This common sense. If you rob me and take $1 million worth of jewelry from me, I'm calling the insurance company. I don't give a damn who you is.
Right.
And when I call the insurance company, you know what they gonna want? A police report.
Pictures.
A
And
police
a
report.
police report. That's right.
I'm exercise common sense. Common sense.
Because at the most, the person could say, I came out and or somebody just rolled past me,
I
shot
ain't
up the car.
losing no $1 million worth of nothing for because
Right.
no, I don't care what this about. I don't care what I'm calling the insurance company. I'm calling the insurance company. And guess what else? I'm gonna get a police report because I want the million. I want my money,
Right.
and so ain't nothing gonna stop that. And it's common sense we exercise in here. Common sense. That's all, bro. That's all.
So let's move a little further. I don't think you've been here. Maybe you have since Hernandez Govan was found not guilty. And I know
Yeah, I've been in
Hernandez
Memphis 2 months
Govan.
ago. I was in Memphis but 2 months
I know
ago.
I'm talking about on the show. I think you
Oh,
came
okay, okay.
before the actual verdict. I do believe. I'm not sure. Um, but I know Govan think we hate him. I don't hate Govan. I hate the part that I feel like Govan
I
played
think he take a
in
lot of
this.
stuff on the chin. I don't think he that sensitive on that type of stuff. I think y'all have let the persona kind of build up, and he's gonna use that to his ability. And he's not doing the worst job in the world at doing it, but it's just how you maneuver. And you have to choose your battles and you choose your direction very wisely. And there was a table. I'm gonna tell you a story. There was a table. Well, me and God had rented this house in East Memphis, and there was this wooden table here in the kitchen, and we all sit around. Sometimes it was 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 people, and this is where all the ideas got passed around. But the most important part of the conversation was how the people would receive what we were doing or what we were saying, and how we dressed, what about this song or what song we opened up with. And we didn't rely on each other's opinion. We allowed on guys who did not rap or from the hood. Gundy was a person, if everybody know Gundy out of Fraser, he was a person that, would just give you a raw, from the outside looking in, this is what I'm getting out of this. You know what I'm saying? And so we kept people like that around. And when we moved out of there, we went back and forth about who was gonna get the wooden table because we had came up with so many cold ideas around that wooden table. But the point I'm trying to make about this is, uh, you have to take into consideration how the people are processing things, how they view things, and their perspective on things, and you can't get far removed from that and then come out making content, making songs, or doing stuff that's not sound for what you're trying to do. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I'm gonna say about that.
Okay, so Govan is your partner. Uh, Okay, Mr. Ian got knocked down. He'll be back up in a few minutes, though. While he's coming back up, waiting to come back up. Hold on one second, you all. I'm getting ready to pour me a little bit of something. Okay. Hold on one second. He'll be right back up. He got knocked down.
There's some kind of way. Got
He got
knocked
knocked down some kind of way. I was
Okay.
ready to ask you before you got knocked down.
I'm sorry.
And that's okay. We cool. I'm getting ready to pour me a little bit of wine while we talk so I can relax a little bit. But Govan is your friend, okay, or your partner. You've been very vocal about that.
When I opened the hookah lounge, I can't lie. When I opened the hookah lounge in Miami, he flew down.
I'm listening to you. I'm gonna kind of walk away, but I'm listening to you, and I'll still be able to talk to you while I pour my wine. Okay.
Okay, I got you. While when I opened the hookah lounge in Fort Lauderdale, in what year was that? Govan flew down on his own dime, and he came and we had a great time, a great interaction. I can't lie about that right there. So when I say that, he my partner, our last interaction was positive. You feel what I'm saying? And so that's just the truth. And I didn't send him no plane ticket. I didn't say, man, I want you to be here. No, he just showed up on his own dime, and he came and he spent money at the bar, and he smoked, and we got some other friends who down here, and all of them was there. And so we talk about friends who show up for us. He showed up for me, and I got to be honest about that. Are you still there? Hello. Yo,
I'm here. Can you hear me?
I couldn't hear you. I was trying.
Okay. Yes, I'm here. So my question is, how do you feel about the interviews that he's been doing? I know, because they've been pretty much mostly, especially the last few ones, they kind of been going viral. What, coming off of the heels of being found not guilty and all of that? What do you think about that as as a street guy yourself, or a reformed street guy?
I don't wish jail. I don't think jail is the answer. I think for I can't say that I wish that somebody who stood up for me would have went to jail. I can't say that. I'm not gonna say that. You feel what I'm saying? Who showed up for me. I don't like the level of stress that it put on the family and the people that was around. And I told my partner who signed the bond, I said, I remember talking to him that day, and I said, man, you showing me what a real friend, can be, or what a real friend is. You know what I'm saying? And so I was taking.
Mr. N, you kind of went out again.
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you now.
Okay, yeah, it was an unbelievable, uh, situation. So, um, like I said, he showed me, what going to bat. I learned some stuff in the process. I ain't gonna lie about that. But it put a lot of stress on a lot of good people who didn't have nothing to do with that, who never wished nothing wrong on Dolph or nothing bad on Dolph, that really admired Dolph, and it put people in situations to have to, go to bed and stand up for him, because he has been there for so many people in their situations. So it kind of put people in a situation where we gotta rock with this. Another thing, when talking about Govan,
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't. Okay, so I couldn't. So if everybody knows me and you friends for 20 years, Tamara, right?
Right.
And then they come on there and ask me, um, a question about you, and I say, yeah, she a good person, and she ain't, nah, man, she wouldn't do that, or she ain't like that. Well, they just gonna say you you defending your friend. That's
Right.
what they're gonna say. They're gonna discredit me and say you defending your friend. They're gonna write me off, is what they're gonna do, as you defending your friend. So I couldn't come on her in the first interview, and when I first got asked about Govan, and talk good about him. You understand what I'm saying? This is my media training. This is psychology. There's a number of things that started going to work right here. I can't go on here and say good things about him if I want the best for him, or if I want this to turn out the right way. I can't start this off with, let me roll out all the great things about Quit. Don't nobody want to hear this shit stuff. You feel what I'm saying?
Right.
Right. So a conflict sort of ensued, or it seemed like it.
Between you and Quit?
It seemed like it.
Okay.
But really, in my oratorical skills, I'm offering an alternative perspective on things. That's really what I'm doing. But I can't rush that on folks. I got to lay it out little by little and let them make their own decision. You feel what I'm saying?
Right.
Now, he gonna fall out, or he had a problem because he probably thought I supposed to go on there and immediately say, he innocent. You feel what I'm saying? He innocent. Well, if you really want support, then I can't do that. If you really want me to help you get support, you feel what I'm saying? I
Right.
can't do that because they just
Mm-hmm.
gonna write me off as, oh, you taking up for your friend. You feel what I'm saying? So I also couldn't let him in on anything that, you understand what I'm saying? So it's a very, 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 careful slope, man, slippery slope to that.
Yeah.
And I just rather not be put in the situation at all. You feel me?
Right. Because, there's a situation as it relates to this young dog case with me also. Like Black Youngster, you know Black Youngster, right? The rapper.
Mhm.
His
Mhm.
cousin, she's been my best friends, we've been friends basically like family since I was 5 years old. She was like one of my first friends. Okay, we grew up in the projects together.
Wow.
And I used to like Black Youngster's mother was her first cousin, used to come over um and be over there with us a lot of times when we were growing up, right? And I remember that. But so, I said that to say it's like I've had people to try to scrutinize, to say, well, I think that you don't really say anything about Black Youngster. And
Black
me, I
Youngster, if Black Youngster is in the same situation for next 2 times then. And that is, he's a real street dude. He believed in the neighborhood. He believed in the game. He believed in the loyalty of the people that's around him. When that loyalty got misused, it shocked him, first of all. Second of all, I can't, it's been so much wrong done, I can't even deal with it. I can't deal with you. I don't, for a minute, I don't really want to deal with none of it because I just can't even believe. This is what Finesse 2 Times was basically telling them in $1 million worth of game. That he couldn't believe that, he come out of there where you had to keep it real at 24/7. You had to stand on your word. You had to stand on business. And he come out to a group of people that shaking hands. We all got our freedom. We all got the ability to make money. Should nobody be trying to drag nobody down, right? But guess what? They did the same thing to him. Misused his trust, misused his loyalty. You feel me?
Mhm.
And he didn't know nothing about that. He didn't know that this industry is this shit really jello gelatin. You feel what I'm saying? He didn't know that.
Yeah, but Black Youngster was very well aware of what was going on
At what
when he
point? At the
decided
point
to
when he got the heavy camp imprint, when he went to Def Jam and they started explaining about this, that, and the other, that's what it sounds like. Because then he had to become his own boss. And when you become your own boss, now you starting to account for stuff. See? Okay,
Mhm.
well, if this is that, then where my money at from this?
Oh, I see what you're saying now. He started to see once he stepped into the role of how he had been taken advantage of financially.
I'm gonna tell you another name that Finesse 2 Times brought up. B Mills. Did you hear that? Did you hear Finesse 2 Times speak about
Mhm.
B Mills?
I had mhm.
He was also Black Youngsters manager.
I know.
And the first fallout at the BT Awards because B Mills stole that money, opened that Jimmy John's out in Cordova. Yeah, Black Youngster and God are supposed to be into it. But them goddamn Jimmy John sandwiches hit naming. You see what I'm
Now,
saying? Like, bro, come on,
I
bro.
don't go
Like,
into
like,
Jim. I don't go
yeah,
into
I
Jimmy
ain't telling you
John's.
no I ain't telling you no lies. This is how it go. This how it go. This is why I'm encouraging all the young people to educate yourself. You don't have to be up under nobody's thumb and where my money and we fell out because of this and because of that. We don't have to do that.
Mm.
You can know how to count your own money, know what's supposed to be here as a result of this. You can know how to generate your own momentum. If you go to the website, carbondatastreaming.com, go get the book. The book will take you step by step on how to collect the writers, collect the music publishing, the whole 9 yards. The YouTube rate, as I posted on my Instagram, YouTube rate, Facebook rate, TikTok, none of this compared to the federal rate. And this is why it's so hard for me to podcast.
Did you say you got a book out?
Yes, the book is called the perfect music money setup. And if you will put that up in somewhere, I DM'd it to you when we
Okay.
on there.
Yeah,
But
sure. I'll put it. I will put it. Make sure I put it in the link. The
right,
comments.
yeah,
Yeah.
because you know, getting a lot of money up front is cool until you realize when you get where you're going and you realize what's going on right now. And I don't know the general part of this situation, but right now, if Pooh Shiesty was not in a contract, I don't know his status. I'm not claiming to speak on none of that. I don't know nothing about that. If he was out of that contract, he wouldn't even have to sign a record deal because they would give him a $3-4 million publishing deal off the WAP without a record deal.
Right.
The record deal be so many more millions.
Mm-hmm.
And as I said in the video, not speaking on anybody's situation because I don't know the details. When you see that type of money out there on the line, you want to get out. But that's not the way the game played, because in the beginning somebody else risked their money to get you there, to get all this going. And so contractually, they are entitled to a portion of it.
Our boy up in here. What's up, Stan G?
Stan G, oh man. Oh man. Oh man. Yeah. So they're entitled to a portion of that. And
Mm-hmm.
because and like I said in
Have
the
you thought
video,
of doing virtual classes?
I am gonna be on school. I am
Oh,
gonna be on
okay.
school. I'm gonna do it on school, but I'm gonna give some insight on my subscription on Facebook. So I'm gonna go because we have to hurry up and get to how to flip money, because that's what we really get into. That
Right. Well,
yeah,
if
when
I
we
win
flat,
school board, I'm gonna have you to. I'll get with you about talking to you about coming to the technical school
absolutely
and
the
talking to the kids about that.
SKOOL school is the platform that I'm speaking of, that I'll be teaching the lesson on. But I would like to come to the schools, and I have uh, um, another nonprofit organization that is ordering a bunch of books, and I'm going to speak with these young people as well. So shout out to Visha. She's doing a marvelous thing with her nonprofit that she set up, and some other people are making real strides.
Yeah,
But
I think Bisha is the young lady that would, Jessica Dime piece be in here
okay,
sometime.
shout out to
And I
Jessica.
think Bisha is the young lady that just helped Jessica to have a successful. Jessica was in South Memphis, giving back around Christmas time and just doing a darn thing.
I saw it.
Yeah, I'm so very proud of her. And I think Visha is the young lady that helped her to make her event successful, and they kind of partnered together and all of that. And
Bisha is very active in the scene. She's a powerhouse. We had some conversations, and like I said, I want to get to the point of the young people flipping money. I don't want to get away from that, because instead of scamming and instead of making plays this way and making plays their way, or buying this to try to flip this and make money off this, we have to hurry up and get to the point of them understanding that I can take my Walmart paycheck.
what do you think of 7 streams of income? Do you
And flip
believe
it.
in that? Or maybe I
I
should ask
do
you,
I
is
do
it
believe I
possible?
do believe in multiple streams of income because I'm in the music business.
Okay.
So the
Is it
distributor
possible
will
to have 7 at
the,
one
dis-
time?
the distributor will pay out 1. Song Trust, which collects the mechanical publishing, that's 2. ASCAP is the words to the song, that's 3. If you're on the radio, Sound Exchange is 4. And you can come up with 3 more, whether it's t-shirts or keychains or whatever you're doing. Concerts would be another. So just being in the music business is getting you to 4 or 5 or 3, starting you off with 3. Now, if we go into here and say, well, we're going to collect the monetization from the platforms as well, then we're over 7. You see what I'm saying? We collect the monetization from the actual platform and then claim the money on the other side or on the publishing and the ones I just named. We're over 7. So it really doesn't take much. And it's reoccurring ACH deposits. We ain't talking about no fairy tale stuff, y'all. We talking about reoccurring ACH deposits for music that you did or that you feature on your podcast, and you got a music bed instrumental that plays. One of the things that I've been giving to artists lately is, if you go to T Grizzly songs right now, you will see videos where one song leads into another. It's just like a long string of 7 or 8 videos, or 10 songs. Well, if he gets 1 million views and there's 7 songs playing, there's 7 million streams. And the mechanical publishing alone on that is about 16,000, and you got a bunch of other money that's going to come from a bunch of other places. So this is not. This is it. This is what they're giving you the money up front for. For instance, if an artist like EJ already had original songs on YouTube, and he don't even know how to collect the money from the publishing on this, but I can see, because the YouTube is giving me a visible count of how many streams this is. I can give him a fraction of what he already done made, but I'm just gonna give it to him in cash. You see what I'm saying? Then I'm gonna go turn around and collect all of that that's out there. Now I'm in the profit. I'm in the black. I don't really care what you do after that. If you make it big or you don't. Yeah, man, it's wicked.
I see what you're saying.
Yeah, a
I
lot
do.
of
It is. So let me ask you something. Do you think that, like, one of Moneybag is a really good rapper, Um,
I got
but
a
you hear
question for
about all the
Moneybag.
predators and stuff that chase him down. Do you think that Moneybag is getting what he deserves? Because Moneybag, you would think, as talented as he is, he's talented enough to have crossed over by now. But he's still almost like in the chitlin circuit.
Is he in the chitlin circuit?
Yeah.
I think he bigger than the chitlin circuit. I'm not gonna put that on the man. You know what I'm saying? I think but Head
But
is
he
getting.
hasn't totally crossed over.
Yeah, Head is the owner of that company, and Zach started everything off, and the education.
And let me
That
just say this, I have to throw a little salt and shit
No, I have
in it.
something to say on the subject, but I think that God taught. He gave more of the education part to Head, because he was the company owner, and Head had shouted him out for that. And Moneybag is the artist. So Finesse really gave you a clear picture once again. This guy don't hold back, man. This guy like Ali, you feel what I'm saying? He punching. And he really gave you a clear picture of that. I can't lie. He was not lying. He was not wrong. But and that would explain why, like you said, things are at a certain place. I don't know a rapper or any professional who rises to the top of their game and want another rapper's woman. I never heard of it. I mean, Jordan never wanted to date Scottie Pippen's wife.
Hey. I'm
You know
sorry.
what I'm saying? Yeah, Jordan never wanted to date Scottie Pippen's wife. You feel what I'm saying? Like, nobody rises to the top of their game and say, I don't know about that, man. That's rough. I mean, it make G Herbo look good. You know what I'm saying? So, some real Chicago P shit going on or something. I don't know. But I don't know nobody who rides to the top of their game and say, "I want somebody else's girl with your two kids." Like I don't know about that. That's something not adding up right there. You know what I'm saying? Maybe it's for publicity, or whatever. But he's not in the right state of mind, man. I don't know what's going on with that, but at a certain point, you do have to turn the artist low. You have to let them do what they do. He a grown man. He is a company owner, so it's not like he can control all of that right there. It's not his job to control none of that right there. We can give you good advice and sound advice, but ultimately, you're gonna do what you want to do and make your own career. You know what I'm saying? And um, hopefully he can keep it going. But to been made the type of songs and to been and hit the type of marks that he didn't hit. I hope that he owning some of that stuff. I really do. You know what I'm saying? But the one that was up for dispute between me and him, he did not. You know?
Okay, well, let me ask you this, okay? Because I got to ask you some of the questions that the people want to know about. We're going to go back to Quit. And Quit, I know you're a fan of the show. I ain't trying to pick on you. I'm just trying to ask your friend a question.
I think y'all take him too seriously, man.
No,
That's what I
actually,
do.
listen. I mean, let me say this in all seriousness. I
Yeah.
feel like I've said from the very start, like when this happened, you know, um, and let me just go back all the way to the beginning, okay?
Okay. All right.
When this situation first happened with young Dolph, right?
Uh huh.
I am a private investigator, right? I have,
I
uh,
heard that. I
yeah,
heard that.
so most private investigators, I do specialize in, well, when I was in the private entity, now I work strictly for the government. But when I was in the private sector, I worked with a lot of defense teams, a lot of defense attorneys would
Mm-hmm.
contact me, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so when this situation happened and Quit, um, I already knew, me being a professional now, there was a lot of things that I didn't say. A young lady had reached out to me, and actually, because I was talking about the case so much, um, when the young lady called me, she was very professional. She seemed sound like a nice lady, and
Okay.
she was like, um, I actually want to. She told me what it was. I'm not going to say what it was that she wanted, but she told me what it was that they was trying to do. She didn't go into deep detail, and she asked me, can you find somebody? I was like, yeah, and she was like, okay, well, my fiance, blah blah blah, is in jail, and she said, I really want him to talk to you. Like, I want to go, I want to go with you because I'm real personable, I guess. Just I really want to go with you. He's gonna call in a minute. He's in jail. I don't know why. Mr. N just jumped down, but he'll come back up. I don't really know why, but in the back of my mind, I the first thing I thought about was, I hope this doesn't have anything to do with that young Dolph case, because I've been vlogging on that case. And and sure enough, it did. To make a long story short, um because I am a professional, she didn't know that I had been vlogging on the case or whatever. I just didn't take the phone calls anymore. I didn't want to. I felt like with me, it was a conflict of interest. I had already received been vlogging on the case. I already had an opinion. I'm not going to take somebody's money when I already have an opinion about the case. It wouldn't have been fair to the client. And but anyways, I guess they end up going with the guy, that they had in the courtroom or whatever. Um, but I always said, even when I started vlogging on the case from the very beginning, and you can go back in my archives, I always felt like he had some type of part, but I always said he was not. I didn't believe that he was the mastermind, because to me, the mastermind would be the person who conceived the idea and paid for the hit. And
Correct.
I just don't think that he conceived the idea. It like I don't think it was his thought. Y'all, let's.
I don't think
It,
so either.
I always felt like it came
Because
after
his
the idea was
conversation,
conceived. They brought it to him.
because his conversation where he mentioned Dolph to me before all of this, it wasn't nothing aggressive. It wasn't. It wasn't nothing aggressive. He wasn't saying, "Oh, that bitch," or so and so, so. He wasn't saying that. Oh, I ain't lying. I'm just telling the truth on that part. I never heard that. I never heard nothing aggressive. Like I never heard that.
Well,
And I don't think he thought that I was would be that much on the side of what on Dolph's side. I don't think he thought that either. So I don't think he was just like holding back nothing. You know, I mean, this was months, almost 10 months before that happened, and I never heard him, like just call him out his name or say, nothing like that
stop.
right there. Yeah, I didn't. So I think we shared that thought right there. Juke was going to testify, and I said that on the last thing. And in retrospect, we can really, really see the picture. They search Quid house, they find nothing. They come back again, they find nothing. They don't arrest him. They stop Juke in the airport. They talk to him. He go, and then they come and arrest Quit, and he is the mastermind. Juke goes to visit Cornelius on visitation at 201. He then takes $50,000 to Cornelius' attorney. Teasy gives some type of statement. Clearly, it wasn't in favor of Quit. I mean, he Quit even himself even said that. So now we have Teasy, Juke, and Cornelius, and we got $50,000 to Cornelius' attorney. And you heard what Cornelius said in court, right? About Quit, right?
Right.
Okay, so we're gonna put Juke back on the table. What do you think he's gonna do? Yeah, he's going. Quet goes to jail for the rest of his life if Juke walks in that courtroom. Bottom line, ain't nothing else
You really
nobody can
believe? Do
say
you
about him.
believe as a street guy that Juke was going to walk
Ain't
in there?
say that what? Say it again.
Do you believe Juke being a self-proclaimed street guy? You think he was
Here's the thing about that right there. They've played the game so many times upstairs in criminal court. I've watched them. I watched them. I watched them put on for the judge. I watched them play all the games. They well versed in the game now in terms of that type of stuff. And so you don't take $50,000 to the opposing person's attorney if you don't want, first of all, this person to succeed against this person, which is Cornelius against Quit, and um, you are still free. So you must have said something that satisfied them to the degree they'll let you go. This is common sense. It's common sense. And so they had planned on burying Quit alive with no bond, which they did. Cornelius had high-powered attorney, big money, or a nice sum of money paid for that. T's still running around town, and Juke ain't in town, but everyone has given statements, and Cornelius is going to go take the stand. He has the money on the attorney. I don't see any way Quit doesn't do life in jail. I don't care how nobody want to spend this. That's what was getting ready to happen. And he knows it. He know it. But that's when it came down to CMG don't have the power in Memphis. We do.
Who is we?
The group of people that are for the good, for the good of mankind in Memphis.
I'm inquisitive. I be wanting. I don't
No,
like not knowing.
it came down to it because here we have Juke took $50,000 to Kani's attorney. We know this. We know what Kaniz was gonna do in court, what he did in court, what he did not succeed in doing in court. And we know that if Teasy would have showed up and the nail in the coffin, if it came down to, if you give a statement, if you give a sworn, if you sign a sworn affidavit, reliable hearsay is admissible in court in Tennessee. This is how they play with you. This is how they just put niggas against each other. Reliable hearsay. And so I asked Art Horn one time, I said, well, how do we know that the hearsay is reliable? Well, that's to be determined in the court. No, they're all full of shit. Let me answer the question. And mind you, all my partners out there, all my folks out there fight cases right now. These attorneys are officers of the court. Don't forget that. These attorneys are officers of the court. They have taken an oath. Okay? Don't forget that. Ain't nobody straight. Yeah, ain't nobody straight. Okay. But at the end of the day, if you give if you sign a sworn affidavit, they're going to explain to you that you may be called to testify. This is automatic when you sign it. I don't care if you go down there domestic violence, said the nigga hit me in the head with a frying pan. When Miss Johnson, you sign right here now. When we catch him and we take him to court, we might need you to come down. I'm ready. That's all they need.
Right.
And so when you sign that sworn affidavit, and we gonna let you go because you just said, if we need you to come back up this statement, the law says that you may be subpoenaed and even held in detainment if need be to make sure that you come in and back up this statement. So if he gave a statement, it ain't no, do you think he would have came? Nah, we gonna lock your ass up if you don't come to court. We not about to go sequester no jury and get all this stuff together for you to get at the end and say, well, no, I ain't just say it like that, man. I said he might have been the master. Hell no.
Let me ask you something, Mr. N. I gotta ask you. So, why do you think if Quet was not involved in this, why out of all people they all decided that they was gonna push it down to him?
Well, I don't know who was involved in their level of involvement. That's what I'm trying to say. Their level of involvement. But what I am saying is that those actions, you see, I didn't stick my opinion in on any of this stuff I just named. That all actually happened in a sequence of events. Those are facts. I don't care what you get from this program. All that I just said is facts. Mm-hmm. You see what I'm saying? And the last fact I want you to remember that if Juke would have walked in that courtroom, Quet was going to jail for the rest of his life.
I get that.
I wouldn't take up for no nigga brother that they're finna send me to jail. I'm just gonna tell you straight up. You give a fuck about your brother. You finna send me to jail for the rest of my life, man. I got kids, man. You know what I'm saying?
And not think that the brother.
Yeah, I'm not in that situation. Them not the shoes I'm in right now. I don't mean no harm, but I'm just telling you, man. If your brother go try to send me to jail for the man, fuck you and your brother for real, bro.
That part. and not think that the brother that was the one that actually had the money to pay for the lawyers and his what wasn't involved in this.
I tell you what, ain't no nigga had to sign no affidavit and take no lawyer no $50,000 for no nigga who was trying to hang me. Now, what part of the game it was?
Mm,
You see what I'm saying? Now, if the jig is up, the jig up, right?
right.
Yeah, but we breaking camp. What we doing? But never niggas I'm finna sign no affidavit talking about, yeah, I think he the, he the one really put all that together. I ain't this, you know. Hey
Mm.
man, you feel me?
Mm-hmm. So like the last time you hear if Quick keep, I've been telling my subscribers if Quick do minimal interviews, he gonna almost tell. I believe his brother or somebody was in here the other night. I had felt I was sleepy. Okay, I couldn't. I kept falling asleep and waking up. He, you know, if he give minimal interviews, he gonna been told who took Jook out, because he says everybody on the street knows now. Now this
That's a
is just
lie.
an opinion.
That's not everybody on the street don't know that. I'm not gonna tell you that. Everybody on the street do not know that. That person is not incarcerated. Um, that's all I'm gonna say about that. But everybody don't know that, That's just, that may have been something he was saying in his dialogue, you know what I'm saying? But nah.
Well, he seemed to have been sure about it. He said it matter of factly.
Yeah, I didn't like that they was supposedly going out to B.O. Kenny and was asking him about all of that right there. That wasn't cool. I didn't think that was justified. I know what he said in the song and all that, but them people well aware of where that man was when all that took place. You know what
Well,
I'm
Quinn
saying?
has said himself he wouldn't let a rain, even though now we all know that Juke threw Quit up under the bus, because I'm the word on the street is that he threw a couple people up under the bus. So I don't know though. That's just something I heard. But I'm sure Quit has had his discovery. Quit knows everybody that
Absolutely.
so he says that he has such a solid relationship with Juke, he wouldn't allow a raindrop to touch Juke the wrong way. So
It
could he
sound it,
could
that
he not?
sound that sound pretty good. That sound convincing right there.
Well, obviously he does not believe that Juke would have did anything to him.
It ain't about believing. This is what I'm trying to tell you. It ain't about believing. Now that name was redacted on when they brought the discovery to their cell. Let me let you know that. That name was blacked out. But he ain't no damn fool. And if he wanted to be, let me tell you something. The guys around him wasn't gonna let him be. But he wasn't no damn fool. He know that all these folks and piled all this stuff up on top of him, and he sat down there 10 months with no bond. It wasn't no way to get out. I don't care who had no money. It wasn't no way to get out. Them people really tried to bury a dude alive
But
for
it
real.
was they definitely have pushed it down. Me myself, I pushed it back up, because as I've always said, like Quet, even like Cornelius, get back. Quet, Cornelius, and straight dropping them. They were the low hanging fruits. I like to start digging at the root of the tree, and if I've always said
I
from the
don't
very
think that
beginning.
they even believed that they was capable of that. I don't believe they thought that they was gonna be the ones to actually. I believe, you know, I don't think they calculated. Let me say this here. I ain't gonna say that they did believe. I'm gonna say they didn't have what happens next already calculated. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because like I said in the last interview, if you wire Cornelius $10,000, then what happens? Because the pressure is not on Juke. See,
Mm-hmm.
he made it to Atlanta. The prosecutor said, "Why y'all come back? We ran out of money." Boy, y'all should have found y'all something else to do. That wasn't it right there. Cause I don't know what. I ain't never heard of none of that. I don't know nothing about none of that. Yeah, he came back. The shooter came back to get caught because he ran out of money and he had the money for a hotel. And y'all is who now? Who y'all supposed to be? You feel me? My name for real clowns, man. Nobody, man. You wasn't ready to do none of this then, and you couldn't send the shooter no money to go check into a room and get low. You sure y'all real criminals?
Well, you just said that you don't agree with him going, because I was going to say, do you think that it's wise to have just, gotten acquitted for the assassination of young Dolph and to be going at his artist? Because, it would look like to so many people,
Well,
well, maybe he
the
does
streets of
have
Memphis,
vitriol.
yeah, the streets of Memphis gonna kick in now, and that means that people gonna say this and people gonna catch it out the early. They gonna feel some type of way, and then they gonna have a conflict going on, and then they might see some light in it to go to social media with it, and a little back and forth, and everybody trying to pump their brands. See, ain't nothing wrong with none of that. Wasn't nothing wrong with what Dolphin Garner was doing until somebody got caught in the gangster matrix. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, but Dolph wasn't in the gangster matrix though.
But that went too far. It never should have happened. And I'm gonna tell you, as a Memphian, also as a fellow Memphian, and I'm not in the streets, but as a fellow Memphian, it really bothers me when I don't hear other Memphians say, "Listen, hey, I enjoy both of them music," or I may be
They
more
both
partial
made
to
it.
Yo Gotti's music, but hey, what Yo Gotti and them did was wrong. It bothers me when I don't hear people say that. When I hear people trying to uphold what's wrong, they
It's the
interrupted a
and it's
man's
the
life.
need. It's the need to be that which the brand is trying to give off. You know what I'm saying? Like it's like I gotta I gotta be on this side, or I gotta um when niggas play with niggas, that's what happened. You know, that's a bunch of po ass talking right there. You know what I'm saying? Because bro, listen, it's a lot more to live for. It's a lot more to do. Don't nobody care like that about these little songs y'all making. And man, listen, I can go stop 100 folks on Miami Beach, Hollywood Beach. Never heard of some of these folks. You feel what I'm saying?
Mhm.
It's not really that detrimental. Y'all were competing for the Memphis market, which Pepper and Devin still helped got it cheap in the box off anyway. So, but see, with all that effort, I'm talking about a cast of characters, man. Mike T, Devin Steele, Bruce Dimps, the GM, the former GM, um, Pepper, um, a cast of characters, bro. And he still outshined them folk, rose up above, became more likable. That probably bothered them. It probably bothered them, you know. And I remember when they put Dolph up on the like they spray painted a mural and stuff, and Dolph was still alive. And Juke said something about the mural.
Mhm.
Just let that be. Just let it be. That's what the art. That's what they put up there, and both people love both people up there on the picture. You know what I'm saying? That I don't get it, man. Yeah, it's The biggest problem we got in Memphis is knowledge of self. Because when you don't think a lot of yourself and you don't know yourself, you hate people. And notice that ain't nobody no hater if you go around Memphis. They talking about the hater, but it seems like the hater's invisible because nobody is a hater for real. But it's a town full of haters, but nobody's a hater. No, you is a fucking hater. Somebody is.
Mm-hmm.
It ain't just all these invisible haters that people talk about that we never see. Some of these folk that talking, that saying this shit is haters. You feel what I'm saying? And if
Right.
you don't get no reason to wish ill on nobody, if you don't get no reason to not want to see nobody succeed, then and you still doing it, or you still feel like that, or you still projecting it, you a hater, bro. It's all there to it. Get your hater badge and you know what I'm saying, pin it on your chest, because you a hater. You feel what I'm saying? Yeah,
Right.
you know, everybody, you know, crazy thing, man. It's crazy. It's crazy. Once upon a time, I bought a house in Alpharetta, Georgia, and Quick came down there to hang out, stay with me for a couple of days, check out the new spot and things like that. It was really, really nice. God has blessed me and continues to bless me, but he came down to hang out with me. And before he came down, he had went to the penal farm. He caught a charge at the penal farm. And I went, I got to come out here and holler at me, man, come to the, so I went to visit him. And when I moved into the house in Alpharetta, it was like 7 bedrooms and a lot of space. He came down there and hung out. Well, I kind of told him about what was going on with Gotti and Devin Steele, and these folks blocking. I'm spending all kind of money. It's costing me money, and I'm mad about this shit. I'm pissed off about it. And while he was in town, just so happened they were shooting an all white bricks video shoot. And so some kind of way, Quick called down there. He like, well, come on, let's go to the video shoot, man. I know where it's at. I said, you do. You feel what I'm saying? So I was like, this was a very, very tense time and a tense moment. And so I had the gun I kept at the house, and then I had another one. And so, we going to the video shoot. It's a bunch of rappers. I don't know who up here, so I'm taking my gun. Plus, I know if the conversation get too crazy, God will try to up a strap on you, and I was gonna pop his ass. And that's how I made my mind. And I told Quit that before we went. And when we were walking up to the thing, he was like, "Man, give me the gun." I'm like, "Give you the gun, nigga? What?" You know what I'm saying? Give me the gun, man. So I kind of sensed that he didn't want nothing to go wrong or nothing to happen. But remember, I got two on me. I got the house unit and I got the other joint. So I give him the gun. I give him the house joint. So we walk in. We sitting around. It's a video shoot. And QCP, is in the back. He talking to one of our partners from North Memphis, Fashion. Gucci ain't made it yet, but God is there. So I walk up, we start talking, and I'm getting into, you finna say this white boy? Because we get ready to crucify his ass. You feel what I'm saying? And I just want to hear from, I really just want to hear from your mouth, from his mouth, that you finna save him. You feel what I'm saying? Like, this is your man. You feel what I'm saying? I really wanted to hear that. And I got on this long t-shirt, and I don't know, but Nikki come up from the back. Nicki Minaj. She touched me on the back. At that point, when she touched me on the back, it kind of startled me. And then I realized, damn, she must seen the print of the pistol. You feel what I'm saying? From behind me on the shirt or whatever. And I turn around and she like, well, Gotti, who is this? And blah, blah, blah. And we go into an introduction and it kind of break the tension right there. You feel what I'm saying? And
Right.
so, because we right in the middle of the conversation about Devin and you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm done playing with all these people, man. You feel what I'm saying? I got a brand new baby. I'm spending money out the ad, and y'all blocking this market with the radio. This shit covered 3 markets at one time. And, you know, you want 5 grand for it, you want 10 grand for it. What is it? You feel what I'm saying? And so we getting into that conversation, and she interrupted, kind of broke the what you call. And so, you know, I just want to tell that story because I want y'all to know this shit didn't always function like this. See, quit my nigga. You see what I'm saying? And even when I had to go address this nigga on certain situations, ready to do whatever, he was right there. You feel what I'm saying? So it ain't always been no, oh well, this is his man, and nah, that ain't how this shit went. You feel what I'm saying? All this going on now. And I ain't heard I can't explain it to you on what the motives is or who done passed who some money. But I'm just letting you know this shit didn't always work like that. You feel what I'm saying? And I addressed the hating in a early. I ain't gonna make no song about no nigga. I'm going to talk to a nigga and see where he at on shit. You feel what I'm saying? Man, I seen Fashion in the back talking to QC and I'm a QCP, and I had a lot of respect for Fat. And you know, I couldn't do nothing like that in front of Fat. You feel what I'm saying? So it did kind of pull me back into a space. But when you spent a lot of money and when you put your all into something and you're doing something and you're making progress on this side, but you see people blocking over here, yeah, you is ready to. You feel what I'm saying? If we would have shot each other that day, it would have been fucking fine with me because I was fed up. You feel what I'm saying?
Right.
Right. And
So
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 you
Gotti
do,
didn't
and, and,
just
and,
start the
and I'm saying
blocking.
all that to say a person will get to that point. You feel what I'm saying?
Right.
Absolutely.
So basically, um, the rumors that we had heard about him blocking Young Dolph. So this is not something that he was new to in the industry.
This really happened. Me and Quid went on that video. Quid knew I wasn't playing that day. He knew I wasn't playing. That's why he told me to give me the gun before we went in there. I just had 2 on me. And like I told you, I'm swinging around because I'm getting all animated. What you fuck with the white? You ain't no telling what I was saying. You know, I ain't gonna act like I remember what I was saying. But Nikki came up from the back and broke the conversation right there. And I was like, who is this bitch? I was so mad. I was like, who is this bitch? You feel what I'm saying? And he switched the conversation. God switched the conversation. He's like, this bitch popping. I'm like, she popping? Like, this be popping, bro. No, this be popping. You feel what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? So, absolutely.
So let me ask you this, because I know you we got a little bit more time. Do you believe, and this is just your belief, do you believe that Juke's murder would be solved?
I'm sorry, one more time. It went out on me.
I said, do you believe that Juke's murder will be solved?
No, no, I don't think so. That's just my opinion. I can't say with, but it's inadequate policing. Um, they got their hands full on so much different stuff. Look at what they did to that case. They didn't check no cameras. They didn't check no receipts from the auto zone. Cornelius made up a bunch of stuff that didn't check out. They were willing to throw you in court and spend the money on 12 jurors and didn't have none of that together. And then they put Carla and the other girl up there to basically lay down, you know. And
So you believe Cornelius was making? You believe Cornelius made up a lot of stuff? You think he made it up?
do I think he made up a lot of stuff? Oh,
Hmm.
it sounded like it. It
Okay.
sounded like it because um none of it checked out. None of it checked out, you know, and I think he was, you know, he was supposed to have more support than that though. You see what I'm saying? Two of the people who was giving statements in support of that story were gone.
Hmm.
Hmm.
Right. What? Well, that's true. You're right.
You know, but I don't think some people don't want to be seen and some people are never around. And that makes it very, very hard to find them, locate them, talk to them, you know, um, you could run traces and skip traces. You couldn't find me because I understand the flow of the data. You understand what I'm saying? And so, um, and believe you me, there are people trying to sue me. They have tried to serve me and they can't. So it depends on how you move, and how you know choose to move. I'm also, this is also part of being in the music business. I'm suing people trying to sue me. So this you can't do business without it. It's, you can't do business. You know what I'm saying? I had to go to court on Mercedes Benz in Miami last month. Like you can't let people get away with stuff. So you have to, you know.
Do you think that Teasy's unaliving will be solved? And before you answer that, because let me just say this, because remember that was the first time that I'd ever witnessed that. Okay, in the 20 something years that I've been working around the criminal justice system, a police director going to a scene where a civilian was killed. They only make the scene when there's an officer down. So they definitely seem to have had some type of interest in Teasy's case. Do you believe at some point?
Teasy,
Yeah.
their car was shot up while it was in motion, and ran into the dead end of the cove. Am I correct?
Well, I was told he was running from somebody. They was well, I was told he they was chasing him.
Chasing in the car, right? Is that
Well,
correct?
I don't know who was chasing him, but they
I'm
was
saying
chasing
when he
him
was
down.
found, the car was at the end of the cove. He was in the driver's seat.
Well,
Is
no,
that
it
correct?
looks like it was in the back of the church or something,
Okay.
in some
Oh,
bushes.
okay. Okay. Um, that's a dark, quiet place over there. You know. Do we have the type of detectives that gonna dedicate that kind of time? Do they feel like that's worth dedicating that type of time? Uh, we know if they didn't collect certain evidence in a certain amount of time, we know that's out the window.
Well, I tend to believe, I have reasons to believe that Teasy's case may not be being handled by MPD just based
Oh,
on
okay. Okay. Well,
yeah.
if there are other resources dedicated to these situations, I don't have any faith in MPD. Let me just say that. I don't. There's a level of corruption inside of MPD that is just it's corrosive to the whole idea of trusting the police. Um, the Young Dolph murder did not help them out at all. The Scorpion unit and these officers being charged did not help them out at all. Their history in Shelby County does not help them out at all. Um, the mayor, I don't see an iron fist from the mayor in terms of how he deals with MPD. I don't think that the Memphis Police Association is a credible organization, a trustworthy organization. I don't have any faith at all, period, in MPD. To run a jail the way they're doing it, the way the Shelby County Sheriff's Office or whoever, the county government or whoever's operating it, along with the penal fund, the Mark Luttrell justice system or whatever it is out there, to run facilities in that manner, all of it just stinks. It's terrible. It stinks.
Thank you,
No,
nothing for the. I have to thank my people for the cash apps. Thank you so much, darling. I appreciate it so much.
shout out,
Oh, and
shout
let me
out.
just say this: Justice for Dolph is in here. He donated like quite a bit of money the other day, and I told him that was gonna be my nail money. So I went and I asked
Wait
him
a
what
minute.
color.
Is that what?
I asked. I got my nails and I look. I got my nails. So I asked him, Justice for Dolph. You asked me I asked you what color you wanted me to get. You said blue, and guess
I
what?
see what's going on here.
I got that blue. I got that
I
blue
see
on my
what's
toes
going
and
on.
my nails.
I see what's going on here. I see what's going on. I'm starting to understand what's going on here. Okay.
What's going on?
Yeah, buddy. Okay. All right. Well, that sounds good.
Ain't nothing going on.
Well, that sounds good. That sounds good. That's all right. As the old folks say, that's all right. Absolutely. But yeah, it just has to be a total turnaround with some of this stuff. And I don't know how you could clean up something like this without that type of oversight. Let me also without better oversight, without um, some other agency coming in. And when I thought about that, I thought about the Memphis Safe Task Force. And I think we all want to see a drop in the crime. But when you press people who are in poverty and you mash down and compress them even more, you're gonna, first of all, the Memphis Safe Task Force coming into Memphis changed the economics of the city very quickly. Restaurants paid the price. Um, a lot of establishments paid the price. And maybe that is the price of clean streets, that you have to give up some of the businesses, and it's going to take an economic hit. But because this town functioned on crime, and the economics were largely made up of crime dollars, whether it's the bail bondsman or the fines or Regional One Trauma Center or Baptist East handling gunshot victims, or commissary, money on the blue phones, the jail phones. This this town was made up, or the soul food restaurant, or the car wash, or the hot wing restaurant. Crime dollars was such a huge part of this town that when the Memphis Safe Task Force came in, it almost broke this town. You feel what I'm saying? Because it just put a halt to all that money. And it's nothing wrong with putting a halt to crime. But when these people, I think some of the public officials, and I think some of the policemen and the detectives and the judges forget that no one wakes up and says, I want to do crime. You feel what I'm saying? Like, that's not at the top of everybody's life goals in the 12th grade or in the 9th grade. And I want to be a bank robber. I want to be that's not at the top of nobody's list. These people get put in situations. These people dealing with stuff, and they've been denied on so many
Right.
levels. Yeah, on
Absolutely.
so many levels. And the devaluation of the black male, the system that's in charge of the mechanism that's doing that, it has to stop. And if that is political interests or lobbyists in Nashville, to the Jewish dollars, to whatever mechanism this is that feels like they need to keep these people in this situation, it has to stop. And if you're not coming with the answer for that, or if you're not coming with something different than that, we just don't want to hear it at this point. If you can't put yourself in the single mothers, 53% of the households are single mothers. That's a catastrophe right there.
Absolutely.
That's a catastrophe right
53%
there.
or better. You're
Right,
absolutely right.
right. 53% of the households in Memphis are single women with children. This is horrendous. So we have to take some responsibility on ourselves. Y'all don't have families. You have kids and niggas you seeing right now. You don't y'all don't have
Right.
you don't have
Absolutely.
a functioning support system that's known as a family. You got your third stepdaddy you put on these kids, but you don't have a traditional functioning family. You feel what I'm saying?
But even in the church now, they don't promote the family
Right.
structure
And
in
I'm
the
not
African
saying this is
American
women's
community
fault. I'm
anymore.
not putting on women. I'm not putting it on the men. We we gonna wear this. You gonna lay in these beds you make, dog. You hear me? You gonna lay in these beds. You gonna be down there. You gonna get that boy an attorney. I know he was supposed to be a football player. I know he was supposed to be this. I know he was supposed to be that. But you finna go down here and make this bond right now because you gonna lay in the bed you made. I don't care who you is. They go for me and for everybody else. You feel what I'm saying? And so
Mhm.
we. I'm never removing myself. I'm never saying I'm better than no. We gotta do better. You feel what I'm saying? That's number one. But at the same time, these people that's saying this black man ain't no king, they're denying it. What about the loan contracts? What about the city contracts? What about y'all want to sell a park to y'all friends? What about all these opportunities that never see the light of day? That these young men, these the men are supposed to be leading the household. These young men never see. What about all of those opportunities and resources these men never see? You feel what I'm saying? And that is because there is a devaluation of what you think, or what society has told you, or what this particular environment has told you that is worth. Let me also say this right here, Tamara. This is very, very important. I was going to say this. If you feel like your child's life is in danger, and they came home and something is going on in the streets, and you feel like your child life in danger, it ain't nothing wrong with getting in your car and taking your child and heading out of there for a certain period of time. Maybe it's to over at this residence, maybe it's to Arkansas, maybe it's at the casino, maybe it's Mississippi, maybe Atlanta. I don't know. But 2 weeks, 3 days, 4 days, 7 days, whatever you think is going to save your life or save your child life. You don't have to be a victim. You don't have to be a part of it. You can get in your car and call a couple of days off work, or call a week, take a week off work. You can drive your child out of there to save them. You can still do that. Ain't nobody gonna stop you. If that's what you need to do to save your life or to save your child life, go and crank that damn car up, and that's what you do for 2, 3, 4, 5 days, 6, 7 days, whatever you need to do to remove them so things cool off, get them to a better situation or a better plan. You feel what I'm saying?
Mhm.
You can still save your child life. You can still do that. You can still hit the emergency button. and do that. And I think we forget that. Young people, the same thing. If you caught up in something and these folks looking for you and they already said it's this and that, and you just tired of being in the game, you tired of being strapped in everywhere you go and y'all that did this and y'all do that, I want to let you know Greyhound open, the Memphis International Airport open. You got a bankroll in your pocket. Don't forget that. You can save yourself. You
Mhm.
feel what I'm saying? If it come down to it, if the heat get too hot, you can hit the eject button because maybe some of these people will still be alive.
I agree.
Maybe some of these young people, maybe your daughter, maybe your son, maybe your nephew would have still been here if you got up in the middle of the night, went over there, drove over there to the house, told man, get in the truck. Where we going? It don't matter. I heard what's going on. We finna go. You can still go save somebody's life. So I want everybody to remember that part because there is nowhere else on the planet. And these people on social media keep telling y'all this. I don't know why y'all think it just sound. Bro, ain't nowhere on the planet as racially charged, as violent, as people or people living on a short fuse, uh, random gunshot victim. I just went to the store. I was walking out the store. I seen two people argue. Bow. I'm going to
Wow.
the hospital. I wasn't even part of this shit. You feel? You feel what I'm saying? I ain't even
Right.
had nothing to do with it. And this is happening to children. This ain't even no joke.
That's true. That's
There is
true.
nowhere in these. I don't care what you think. And crime happen everywhere. You a damn lie. Not like that. You believe what you want to. You believe what you want to. But remember, say the task force came where? Straight to your ass. They should tell you. Should tell you something. You feel what I'm saying?
Mr. Ian, do you mind taking like a if I open up the line, you take a couple calls? I'm not gonna let them say nothing crazy. I'm gonna hang
I
up
don't
on
care
you.
what they say. It don't make me no difference. I do this professionally. I done went to so many radio stations in the country. Do you know what people call up there and said, man? I've done so many radio interviews, man. People would call up there and say some wild stuff, man. But no, go ahead. I'm fine with that.
Okay. Let's see. You guys, I'm getting ready to put the number up on the screen.
Now you like Stan Bell, you can call in the bell ringer.
Right, the bell ringer. Okay, y'all, the number is up on the screen, but please don't be long-winded, okay? Because other people want to call in too, okay? That's the number 901-329-9819. Call in, okay? Y'all know I don't like to deal with no damn fools, okay? Mr. Ian might not cuss you out, but I will.
Hey man, we're looking for logical people with real questions, and you don't have to agree with nothing I'm saying. It's not that type of party, you know what I'm saying? But
Yeah, Justice for
you
Dolph, you
know,
can ask something in the chat.
oh man,
Justice for Dolph want to ask something in the chat.
ah man, what? No, I'm joking. Justice Dolph is done a great job with the content that's on their channel.
Yeah.
People
Oh, yes.
people think that I am the Justice for Dolph channel, and I am not the Justice for Dolph channel. You feel what I'm saying? Um, we do work together on a lot of different things, but the I can't write, create, edit every show. Like I don't have that type of time to do that, and so um, Joseph Adolph does the editing and a lot of the concepts from the show. I just do some executive producing, and I also do that for about six more shows, including my stuff.
Mr. N, you think you could help me? They just canceled Sherry Shepherd's show. I think I got what it takes. You think you can get me on the big screen?
Shelby Shepherd show.
Sherry Shepherd. I'm
And
joking.
what big screen are we talking about? Because we're on the big screen
A
right now.
national talk show, like on like she took Wendy Williams' place,
Oh,
but they
okay.
just canceled her show. I like Sherry's show. Listen, Justice for Dow says, Real talk with Tamara. Can you tell him? I asked, how do he feel about Govan telling on Mr. Cold's business? I wonder who the. Do you know who Mr. Cold is? Because I
Now you
never heard the last name
now
Cold.
you asking me a loaded question right now. But yes, I do know who Mr. Cole is for the record. And how do I feel? Like, I didn't watch that video. I heard something that was said, but I have to go and watch that video. I really want to judge it for myself to understand what was said. And I just think that he really has to sharpen up and polish what he doing. I don't think he's doing no bad job, but I think he need to, make sure everything is tight and nuts and bolts is where they supposed to be. Because when you get out here and you start talking to people and you're saying certain things, you have to take into consideration how it's interpreted, um, and where you're going with it, and so whereas you may have saw that as well, he is telling something on somebody that he's supposed to
Hold
know.
on,
He
caller.
may have felt that he was just telling a great story. You know what I'm saying?
Right. We got a caller on the phone. Who am I speaking with?
Hey, this the realer Louis Seals. How y'all doing?
How you
Great.
doing, sir? What's up now?
Doing all right. I got a question to ask y'all. You know, you was making some good points. You know, you always want to tell, your black man that you're making a few good points. A
Yes,
few
sir.
good points I really didn't like. But this particular point, I want to tell you,
Okay.
a lot of the issues with the police, even with these rappers, deal with money.
Yes,
And
sir.
you got money, just like you got money. That means you got a good head on your shoulders.
Yes,
Why
sir.
would you want a stupid motherfucker over your head, is what I'm asking.
Say that.
Why
Say
would-
that. He said that you
why
got
would
money.
you go inside the curtain? What? Now,
It's
Yeah, we
okay. It's
listening.
okay.
Yeah,
Could
we
you repeat
listening
the
to you.
question? Could you repeat the
yeah,
question one
you
more
got money.
time?
It's like, just understand, if you got money, listen to me. If you got money, why would you want a stupid person up over you? You can go right there to my site, The Realer, or you can come here to the chat room and you
Okay.
can get money for what you need. You get money for your particular reps. You can get money for
Why
your
would you want to? Why would you want a
for your
stupid?
healthcare. I got people out there like Glorilla. She up there. She giving money for the male, you know what I'm saying, the male reproductive system and a whole bunch of other stuff. So when you come in and saying, well, the police, everything all right with the police, I'll say, who they head then? Who's
Who,
the
who,
police head when you tell me all right? Who's
Wait.
the pastor's head? A lot of these people are greedy, man. And
Absolutely. I agree
money
with
is
that
not
statement.
it.
I agree with that statement. I agree with that statement. Why would you want a stupid
So if you
person?
agree with
Why,
it,
why
if you
would you want
agree with it,
Why would you
if
want
you
a stupid?
agree with it, then why we killing each other? Why we sending each other to the field, so to speak? Why we shooting at each other? Why we up there talking like, all right, well, you can't rap better than me. I already know these niggas can't rap better than me. What? How is that a fight? Why should I be upset about that? I'm not upset about that. I'm upset that you even think you can rap better than me. But why is that a reason for me to kill you or even think about harming you?
Right.
That stuff don't make sense to me.
Because I listen, I understand what you're saying. Because listen, every person, when Young Dolph was saying that he was the king, Young Dolph, it was supposed to believe that he was the king, just like anybody else is supposed to believe that they are the best. So it was
Absolutely.
no reason to kill him.
Absolutely.
I agree with you on that.
Absolutely. I think
that's part of what the statement that I made as far as people being, like a Stan said, trapped in a gangster matrix, or believing that they need to, um, you know, I don't think we don't agree with nobody trying to kill somebody because somebody think they rap better than them, or they may even that they made fun of them on a rap record. I can't even agree with that. You feel what I'm saying? So I think that what I said and what he is stating right here is pretty much one and the same thing, unless I'm missing something.
Well, no, you missing something. All right, young man and ma'am. I thank you for everything you do. This is a great show. You one of the shows in Memphis. There's another show in Memphis I used to listen to. The young brothers come eat with me and different things. Right here, if you come wipe my ass, I tell you, hey, brother, come wipe your ass. You know what I'm saying? I teach you how to wipe your ass. Well, how would you take that? Would you take offense to that? Or if you had a particular inkling and you came and wiped your ass and you became a genius, or not even a genius, just half as smart as you are now, you a smart black man, right? Would you do it? That's a biblical trait. And who taught me that kind of, who lost his goddamn mind? I'm telling you, you can listen to people, but they get corrupted by their stank vagina, man. They get corrupted by, you know what I'm saying, these dark entities and stuff. When I go sit down with these gates, all type of phenomena coming, baby. You know why? Because you at the very top. I'm sniffing at 16, man. Over there. So come sit. I teach you how to wipe your ass.
Well, all right, sir. Listen.
You come sit with me. I teach you how to wipe.
Okay. So we made a mistake in the phone hung up. All right. Listen. Next person call in.
To make sense of what the gentleman was saying, and I ain't gonna shoot him down. He had his
No,
opinion on
and shout out to the young
everything.
man.
Sound like he might have had a shot, tonight. And that's all right. You know what I'm
Sir,
saying.
well,
But
I
I
mean
just
no
want to
harm.
state for
You
the
just can't do
record,
all that cussing, sir.
that we didn't agree, and we stated that we didn't agree with the young brothers killing each other, or for no reason, not for no rap, or not for none of that. And we don't want people in charge who are not responsible with our money, with our public funds. I have to call out the pastors as well, Tamara, on this broadcast. I have to call out the pastor, and if your pastor of your church, or your pastor that you deal with, did something different than what I'm about to say, please recognize them in the chat, because I don't want to seem like I'm calling everybody out, and that's not the case. But these churches, whether you like it or not, these are our banks, or were our banks in the 90s, early 2000s, on up to 2015, before everybody abandoned these churches. And they're one of the only local institutions that we deposit money in on a weekly basis. These churches collect 501c3s. These churches collect in the double-digit millions, some of them annually, but most of all of them, with a decent congregation, collect over $1 million, $2 million. Which one of y'all pastors took that money, went to Nashville, and lobbied against bills and laws that would affect our community in a negative way? The gun law, the open carry law was one, but so many different issues. They collected money, stayed silent on, did not use that money that we deposited into the church to go and stand up for us in Nashville. This has gone on for decades. We have kept depositing money. We have kept backing these institutions, these churches. And then when all of these young people wake up and say, we're not going there, we're not giving them $1, and we don't want to hear nothing they got to say, everyone thinks that this is all so wrong. But we have given these people, at this point, hundreds of millions of dollars
and they have never went to the state capitol and spent not even $1 million to push for issues that we need them to push for and that would affect our community. And if your pastor has sponsored a bill in Nashville with the money y'all been depositing in the last 5 years, please put their name in the chat, because I would like to know who that is. I would like to recognize that person as well. But when we're talking about going to Nashville and lobbying, we're not talking about no $10,000. I'm just letting you know that. We're not talking about no $100,000. But these churches have collected way more than enough. This isn't a every year thing that we want to contest certain bills and certain laws that are going to go on the books. This isn't an every year thing. But when this happens, what church, what pastor took the money and put it in the right place? I would like to know that, because as of right now, I have not heard the news. I have not gotten that. In my 30 years living in Memphis, I did not hear that. I did not see that. I do not know about anything like that. But I do know that the 501c3 is required to state what they took in, and has been in the double-digit millions, the larger churches. Go ahead, Tom. I needed to say that.
Oh no, you're fine. I just wanted to say to the young man, the phone hung up by mistake, of course. The lines are still open. Anybody else want to call in? 901-329-9819. 901-329-9819. Okay. Please, watch the F-bombs and all of that good stuff. Mr. M, every time you come, you always dropping some good knowledge. You give some good tea, and you give just an equal mixture of it, which is it
Well,
balances
this
out
the
really
type of
well.
show. This the type of show I can do this on, and I can cover a number of different topics and talk about a number of different things. And this is just a great platform to do that. Also, the young artists out there, don't forget carbondatastreaming.com. Get the ebook, empower yourself. Let's make some money. No matter if you have all of this stuff signed up correctly, remember, you need numbers, you need momentum, you need to get into the millions and millions of streams. carbondatastreaming.com. Go to that site. We're going to help you get there. The ebook is on Amazon in paperback form as well. Go ahead.
Hello, caller.
Hey, what's going on, T?
Hey, you doing all right?
Yeah, I'm doing all right. Why you doing, Mr. Ian? What's going
Yo,
on?
yo, what's up now? My bad, bro. What's up now?
I'm calling from Alabama. My name is Steven. I'm one of Tamara's frequent callers.
So, okay. All right.
I have like a two-part question, and
Yes,
I don't want to make Tamara mad, but she know how I feel about law. So, when you said something about Carla Wilson and Iris. Her name is Iris Williams, the other girl with the glasses. That's her name.
Weird.
So it's a two-part question. One,
which girls? Hold on, tell me what girl we were.
He's talking about the prosecutors. And go Vans.
Prosecutors. Go ahead.
Right. So if you just say your last name was Thornton,
okay.
How would you feel they handled that case, because they took ADA Hagerman off at the last minute, and we still don't know why.
I think I have a great idea why.
So they gave us those two lawyers, and it to me it looked a certain. It looked like it looked odd. I think ADA Hagerman should have been on. But if you were just hypothetically, if you were a Thornton, if you were a member of Paper Route, how would you have looked at that? And two, if you could just speak like out of body, if that's a dog for somebody you loved or cared about, like you were, just say a family member, would you have an ought against the Shelby County District Attorney's Office at how everything has turned out so far? Because in your words, the police is pretty corrupt up there. I'm not going to speak on that,
Yeah.
They just look ignorant, but it's not every cop. It just seems to be from the team
Yeah.
on down.
It's the
I
institution.
just like. Can you just speak to how disappointed you were in the outcome of that case and how it looked and how, like, not just in Memphis but worldwide, because Dolph had so many fans and how disappointed people were? Or do you think it's something greater behind it? Because it just looks like they're just stupid in Shelby County District Attorney's Office. That's how it looks to me.
When the
They don't know
case
what they're doing.
when we went into that phase of the case and Paul didn't come out, you
What
know,
happened?
I don't know.
He probably hung up. He'll call
When
back.
when we got to that part of the case and Paul didn't come out, and I told you I know. Did I tell you I know Carla,
Yeah,
the
you
light skinned
did.
girl? Yeah,
Yeah.
and so when I seen Carla and the other girl come out and they were the prosecutors, I mean, the first thing I thought was Paul is thinking about his legal career. That's the first thing I thought about. He don't want to take no L from Manny, and he know this is a piece together story without the key witnesses. But to answer this man's question directly, because I don't want to dance around this question, if my last name was Thornton and this was my family member and this happened, first of all, man, I would really have to contain myself, because I would be going to jail. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Mhm.
yeah, I would really have to contain myself in that courthouse, and it probably would take some people having to contain me because I choked the hell out of one of them hoes. You feel what I'm saying? For real.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That right there, that's inexcusable. And although it wasn't their fault, and it's a job, and it's their job, man, it just would have emotionally and just knowing that, man, y'all play like this, man. It really do push you to want to take stuff into your own hands, which you really can't do. Ain't gonna serve justice. But and the the part, maybe the little part of respect I had left for the justice system or the MPD, that case right there, it really, I don't want to drop no F bombs on her, but them people there,
Right.
yeah, they, F them people, man, and I feel like MPD. I stated this in a different interview. You might didn't see that, but I stated that I can't believe what I said. To quote myself, I can't believe MPD turned their back on this family like that. I couldn't. I couldn't process that. That was hard for me to process, man. You know what I'm saying? Like this tells me evil is alive and well. You understand what I'm saying? And I feel like something got to be done about it, and that's why I don't hold my tongue about a lot of stuff, because evil can't win, and it seems like that it's a lot of that inside of that justice system, and that there was a real, there was some toy play shit with them prosecutors. That wasn't for real. Let me just keep it real. You know what I'm saying? They wasn't. That girl was, the dark skinned girl. She got to a point in the case where she was walking back to the folder and looking like, okay, now, she didn't even know what she was being ready to do or say, man. I was like, it's just.
Let me just now with A.B.A. Hagerman. I heard you say that he not. I think he's so smart of a lawyer. I think he was ready. I think he would have, like, he and Manny are probably equal. He's not scared of Manny.
I don't know.
Believe it.
Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead. I'm listening to you.
I believe because we got to realize, you said Cornelius pieced together the story, but Cornelius told basically the same thing in the first trial. It was the same thing.
Yeah, he did. He did a good job of. Yeah, right. He did a good job of.
I think he told it. I believe Cornelius told the full truth. I just think that the two issues I had in that whole trial was, one, why didn't you get a clear order? Because I used to work at O'Reilly. I know you can get a receipt. It's not hard to get a receipt, because I don't believe they waited 4 years to get the receipt. You could have got that receipt.
Right.
And within, 2 weeks, Also, the pressure world or the phone, if Govan calls them, where's the phone? Just go get the phone. It's not that's not hard to me. So I think that's I've never seen police work that crappy, and I'm from Alabama, so that says a lot. But down here we don't deal with that.
I
And
think that the tale,
it's just like it's a level of incompetence I've never seen.
yeah, yes, yes. I have to stand behind that statement, and I don't have anything to add to that because this is absolutely correct. Also, the big telltale was the car. And when the officer said he searched his car and there was no blood in the car, and two people we know that got shot, Justin and Cornelius, were in the car. They both did get hit, and they rode from one location to this other location, and they were both shot.
Right.
And the policeman, man asked him again. He asked him a second time, and he told him that they didn't find no blood in their car. And a lot of people said that detective was really pissed off about having to lie, because I think we all could see it in his face. Like, I know this don't make sense, but this is what I'm finna say. You know what I'm saying? Like, how can two people get shot and get into a car and drive blocks and they didn't know they was gonna get shot, and it's not a drop of blood nowhere in the car?
It makes me wonder if they even tested the car for blood. That's because it couldn't have been no way possible if you had two
I don't
people
know
that
how
were
that
shot and bleeding
he
unless they
lost
didn't
everybody
do it.
right there. Yeah, he lost everybody. I think everybody was gone when you know, that Mercedes, that great Mercedes, he testified there was no blood
And
in it.
then another thing too, they had so many people that was, but yeah. Justice O'Dowd says Carla Taylor, the prosecutor, I made a video on her dating Govan's partner, aka Mr. N. Mr. N, you dated Miss Carla?
Oh my God, I thought Justice Adolph was gone to sleep. I did date Carla before she passed the bar. We went out and
Did she pass the bar?
she did. She did. Very young, very
What
young.
you talking about?
And
It wasn't no
and let me tell you, man. Let me tell you this.
pass the bar. That's what she did.
Let me tell you.
But,
When
well, I
we
appreciate
when we didn't go, when we didn't,
Juke went to 201. That's interesting. I'm surprised we ain't heard nothing about that, but I digress. But
he did. I did. I stated that. I stated that early in the interview.
And see,
He went to
they
201,
keep
right?
records. Anybody that goes to do visitations, they keep records of that.
They knew about the visitation. Absolutely, yes.
And they record everything. So I'm trying to figure out what could Juk have said to him that was not
Well,
recorded.
you got to understand that if Cadiz is locked up and I can't talk to him, and I'm finna take $50,000 to an attorney, somebody gonna have to talk to him. I'm gonna take 50 grand. I ain't gonna tell him what the game plan is. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, he's on the visitation. They had record of that, absolutely. But to give you an idea of the character of this person, when things didn't work out, because I didn't, me and LaCarla didn't, we just went out, like literally went out to eat and stuff like that. Later on, when I got into a relationship and all of this, and I ended up back down at 201, she wrote a letter to the judge. To my surprise, you know what I'm saying? I walk into the courtroom and one of the officers of the court, who has nothing to do with this case, not even in this courtroom, wrote a letter to the judge talking about how I was a bad person. I deserved to be locked up. And our home was defending me on that case. And he was like, "What's up with you and LaCarla? You fuck LaCarla?" Like, she wrote a letter to the judge. I was like, "What?" He was like, "Bro, he like, that's what she reading. Like, that's what the judge up there reading." I'm like, "Wrote a letter about what?" But we can't really talk because we standing right there in front of you feel what I'm saying? I'm like, man. And I just didn't want to hear nothing else from
You know, so you got some dirty, tainted people out there that be on some different stuff, man. So these people aren't of the highest character. Is the point I'm trying to make, you know?
Mhm. Let me ask you something. Have you paid any attention to any of the videos that I've done on Howard Barnett? Were you familiar? Did you know him?
Yes, I can recall the last conversation me and Howard had very, very clearly. You know, Howard was a good guy, man. You know,
Hmm.
and we were sitting at one of the tax locations. I think on Get Well, the last time I saw Howard, and it's just unfortunate, man. My partner was really, really good friends with Howard, and it broke his heart. And he was one of the first with the sisters and the mama to, you know, he's a legitimate businessman and he don't get involved in the streets. But him and Howard were really, really tight, and I saw the loss of Howard really tear him apart in a lot of ways. You know,
What do you think happened to Howard?
that's a tough one, Tamara. It's a real tough one because. Bad things happen to good people in Memphis, Tennessee, man. You know, and in the under the cover of night, a lot of things happen in Memphis. You know, and from the looks of it, um, this girl was really the whole catalyst in whatever happened to Howard. You know,
Mm.
see, because she knew his location. She knew how he moved. I think someone said she called and asked if he had his gun on him that night. Like, let me tell you something, man. If a girl call and ask you, "How you guys? Where you at?" "Oh, I'm over here at Dixie Queen. Get something to eat. What's up? You got your gun on you, bitch? Why? Click up." Man, listen, this is just my natural instincts in Memphis. You feel what I'm saying? Like, this is how you gotta live, dog. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Well, it goes to show he trusted her 100%.
you can't. They'll hang you. You know what I'm saying? And especially, well, I'm not. This is not every woman that's down there, but you got to know what you're dealing with. And there are some maggots, there are some snakes, and there are some setup folks that'll set you up. You know what I'm saying? We got a strange case with my partner Spanky, who we just lost, R.I.P. Spanky, and you know this girl told the police that she turned into the driveway of where he got killed because the headlight was out on her car, and didn't tell the police that they knew this guy, and that her and her husband and this guy were longtime friends. They actually probably attended the same high school right there. They both lived and grew up right by Tresman High School, so they likely went to high school together. But the whole neighborhood and thousands of people knew that they knew each other. And she told the police that they turned into a stranger's yard because the headlight was out. You know, there's a method to the wickedness that goes on down there. If there wasn't a method, it would be easier to spot. But it's spiritual warfare. You don't know who you know is got something in them or is on demon time. The last time I talked on her, and I mentioned God in name and the devil in the same sentence, and that sounded really, really wild. But we come back almost how many months later is this interview?
Uh, Maybe 9 or 10 months.
And Nicki Minaj is calling Jay Z the devil.
Yeah,
So, so it'll all make sense to you in a minute. You feel what I'm saying? It'll
yeah.
all make sense to you in a minute. And if we know that at some point, Jay Z, um, got on the dark side, or the real cat from the street that we thought we knew was got tainted, because you don't meet, your company don't meet with the artist. They met with Young Dolph, and then you don't advise the artist that you have some control over to, hey man, just let that go. They might blow up in your face. That might not be good for business. You feel what I'm saying? You might want to just, man, leave that alone, man. You know what I'm saying? He didn't say that. He didn't say that. And his company just met with this guy. So it sounds like Rock Nation offered him silver or lead. That's what it sounds like. You feel
Mm-hmm.
what I'm saying? Now you
Mm-hmm.
go double back and you meet with Dane, because you know that there's answers to your questions, that you don't have to give up part of what you got going on to get answers to that question. So this guy here, he's big, and but I can go talk to the guy who started out with him. I can go talk to Dane. We still have to look at the series of events the way they took place. And
Right.
after he met with Rock Nation, said something about it on the rap. He made a song about it, and then he went to go talk to Dame, and he met with Dame a second time, and he did. That's facts. That ain't. That's just like the sequence of events I named earlier. That's facts.
Right.
That's facts. You feel what I'm saying? You're seeking independence. You don't want our help. You don't want to be signed under us. And let me tell you what Rock Nation has. They have a staff of thinkers, yes, but they also have a staff of programmers. They're paying two, three, $400,000 a year, because this whole game is being fought in a digital world. You feel what I'm saying? And so, in exchange for their expertise, their input, they take a percentage on the management or whatever deal they trying to make. Dolph didn't want to make that deal. Uh, when they met when he met with Rock Nation, they had to know that this conflict was going on with him and God. I think he had been shot in L.A. at that point.
Mm-hmm.
And the civil suit against the city of LA, just like with Biggie, did not go away just because Dolph died. That's another thing people don't know.
Let me ask you something, Mr. Ian. Now, I've seen on Justice for Dolph page, he's talked about it several times. There was an attempt on your life recently.
Um, I wouldn't call it that, but there are people out here that is unhappy with my perspective of what I want to say. But no, I wouldn't call it that. I would just call it someone that disgruntled and in a miserable place more than anything. And because this person knew me or had access to me, they thought that they could pull something off. But obviously, um, I'm talking to you right here. So where you think they
Do you do you do you,
at?
do you,
They ain't talking to you. I am. So how you think that worked out for them?
I tell you,
Yeah,
do you
yeah.
think your do you think Quet will be able to redeem himself in the future?
I don't know about that. I think that the gift of freedom and to be able to do what you want to see your kids, to hug your kids, to go to the refrigerator when you want to sleep with a woman every night. I think that's the gift. That's the gift of a gift of enough. That's enough of a gift. The people don't owe you that. They don't owe you liking you and supporting what you're doing. They don't owe you that. Now, if they give you that, then that's a blessing and much support to them and you. But they don't owe you that. And God has already given his gift, and that's the gift of freedom. That's what I think.
Hmm. Do you believe that God knows what happened to his brother? I'm not I didn't now let me just
Of
say, let
course
me
he
make it clear.
does.
I never said that he was involved, but do you think he knows what happened?
Well, what happened is he was shot. So what do you mean about like
The
how it
the people
happened?
who do you think he knows who took his brother out?
No, he didn't know that shooting was going to happen that day in there, and it probably scared the hell out of him. You know, and he was on the plane not long afterward in the air. You know, and so I don't. You couldn't. They couldn't tell him, or I don't think anybody was in communication with him to. They were shooting at Juke days before the funeral. Do we know this? Has this been said?
What that yeah,
Okay.
people have
So
said it
and then there was
at
an
a crap
event.
house or something. You know, it's been
There was an event at the taco spot in Poplar, and there was a shooting there at his vehicle. Do we know about that?
no.
Okay. So it's two. That was one incident, but he left town for a while, and this made it. You know, I wish he would have stayed gone. To be honest with you, because I don't want to see nobody in that situation. I ain't wishing that on. Me and Big Dad ain't had no problems like that. You know what I'm saying? So in a lot of ways, I wish he would have stayed gone. But um, when he did come back to town before the funeral, on the days leading up to him, yes, they were shooting at him.
Now, if here's the thing about it, and this is just, you know, my analysis. I don't know everything. You know, they talk about Juke possibly owed people money. Stop. He possibly owed people money and all of that. But here's the thing, and he had been owing the money. If he had been allegedly, if this is what happened, owing these people money, why all of a sudden they just decided they wanted to kill him? I don't know. I don't know if that sounds right to me.
They saying that's the motive?
Yeah,
No. The motive was he finna send somebody to jail for the rest of their life. You gotta understand. You gotta understand. This is you can look around at a lot of things, but who has the most to lose?
right.
Yes. Who has the most that they're gonna lose out of this situation? That's what you gotta look at.
Wow.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I
Okay.
mean, even you know, I mean, God has stood up in Detroit and said, "We don't." These are the first words out of His mouth after His brother is killed. We don't fold. We don't break. We don't fold. Yeah. Why not
It
just
kind of
say
sounds like
rest?
to me he knew who it was.
Why just not say rest in peace to my Julie? He was my brother. He was a real dude, you know. And I appreciate all y'all support and love behind me losing him. Why not say something like that? Because you still in the gangster matrix. Oh man. Oh man. You hear me? Nigga still in the gangster matrix and you still got to say, we don't break, we don't bend, we don't fold. When the man gave a statement, man.
Do you feel like y'all call him Big Dog or Big Daddy? Do you feel like Big Daddy was I don't like to use the word slipping or anything like that because it's so not me. I
No,
found something
I
that it
wouldn't
said.
call that sleeping. I wouldn't necessarily I wouldn't call it that because I guess I know his character and I know him and I know he wouldn't have wanted to ran from he wouldn't have wanted to run from nothing like he that wasn't his character and if he said he was coming to pay his respects, that's what he was coming to do and he was ready to deal with whatever. You feel what I'm saying? And that's what it was. But they were counting on it. They were counting on it, clearly. And like I said before, to walk up in a repast or to walk up in a service, you gotta have cold blood running through your veins. You feel what I'm saying? To go in there and know that if it come down to it, and it's a church or a room full of people, that's a different type of person right there, man. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, it was broad daylight, a gang of people, a whole lot of people around. I mean, to me, that's just it's weird within itself.
Yeah, yeah, it's just, but see, it's not when you put yourself in the shoes of somebody that everything is riding on this. You see what I'm saying? See, when it come down to I got to do it. See, for somebody, it came down to ain't no other way. I got to do it this way. You see what I'm saying? And so that's
At
what
the
happened.
risk of losing his own life, because they said Juke had security out there himself.
Well, the person that was going to do it don't feel like they was risking their own life. And not only that right there, but you don't know how many people that was with him that didn't take off running or didn't do nothing because nobody knew they was with him.
Oh,
You got to be careful of the seeds you sow around that joint. You got to be careful of the toes you step on around Memphis, man. You know what I'm saying? They ain't even know, like, ain't nobody immune. Them folks will put you in a box, they'll ship you up out there, they'll send you on where you going. They done sent the biggest, the baddest on their way. You can believe it. Ain't no. Hey man, as long as you in between Shelby County and state line, now to the good Lord, you are a unique jewel and you a blessing and you a light. But to these people out here in these streets, while you in Memphis, Tennessee, your life ain't worth no more than $2,500.
wow.
And before you get up here on any one of these programs and up in anybody's face and talking about anybody, bro, I don't care. That's why I don't, I move a certain way. I say what I say, but I'm still gonna be mindful because in Memphis, Tennessee, your life ain't worth no more than $2,500, bro. I'm telling you that now. Now I ain't. Hey, you heard it. Hey, I'm telling you the truth now.
Wow.
There's some young dudes waking up at 1, 2 in the morning. They go steal 2 cars, go catch a body, and come back home at 4, 5 in the morning. Go lay down, go sleep. Ain't nothing like ain't nothing happen.
They ain't got but $500 in their pocket.
Ain't nothing happen.
Wow.
I'm talking about stole 2 cars, committed a murder, and went home and went to sleep. Wake up tomorrow, do it again. And so you really got to know what you dealing with. Really, 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 really.
Well, Mr. N, I have enjoyed having you on here as always. I be hating to let you go because I almost feel like it's some shit I ain't.
But that's
Now,
why
did
we do
I
it
ask him
ever so
everything?
often. That's why we do it ever so often. And I try to cover a range of topics because you know, this is an opportunity to get the word out on a couple things. Once again, let me shout this out, carbon-streaming.com. We have to be our own boss. And the reason these people see the source of all of this was money. I'm gonna give you a record deal. I'm gonna give you $50,000. I'm gonna give you this here. Just go do this. Go do. You don't have to. We all bosses. You have to be your own boss. All you got to do is get the information. You see what I'm saying? They making too much music not to be making $30,000-$40,000 a year off of this music. And that ain't no lot of money, but we equal out to what the average person working a job, 50, 60, 70. You know, you can do this. It's already happening. Get in contact with Visha. Get in contact with someone who's in the know. She has a Facebook group. I've been pouring out information, you know, because there's no need for none of these. In 5 years, this will be nonsense, more of nonsense than what it is right now, because you've been to realize the technology at that point, but you don't have to wait that long. Go get the information. The Perfect Music Money Setup is the name of the book on Amazon. CarbonDataStreaming.com. If you don't remember nothing else, Tamara's gonna put it up. Get the book, get the information, flip your money. $500, $1,000 at a time. Flip your money. Learn how to flip their money. We're gonna help you do it. Get the information. Get in contact with Visha on Facebook. Visha Williams, is that right? Visha Williams on Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
So shout out to everybody who came and listened to the show tonight. Shout out to all your listeners. Shout out to the gentlemen, both of them who called in. And let's keep moving forward. Let's keep trying to give the young people the information and the resources to do better, man. We all got to do better. And I'm never putting myself in a space where, you know, I got to wear this just like everybody else. When I go somewhere else and we talk about Memphis, and, you know, I defend and I have to let them know the good points and the good part, and, you know, why we unique and all the great things we bring to the table. And so I got to wear this too everywhere I go, you know. So
What's the name of your book again, Mr. N?
The Perfect Music Money Setup. It's a strategy to royalty collection. That's the description of the book. And so your distributors pay out monthly. So we really need to get this down right here. The distributors pay out monthly with a 60-day delay on the data. So when even though it pays out monthly, it's paying from 60 days what happened 60 days ago. You understand what I'm saying? So it's really about getting into a flow. Now, you can have all this stuff set up and never hit 1 million streams. You ain't gonna never want to do this no way, because you ain't gonna never get the type of money out of it that you want to get out of it. That's why you got to go to CarbonDataStreaming.com so we can get you to 5 million, 10 million, 15 million streams. And if you go to Visha Williams on Facebook, you can get into the group. I'm showing you emails, paydays from these companies, the correspondence from these companies, to show you and help you understand how all of it works. So CarbonDataStreaming.com, Visha Williams on Facebook. The Perfect Music Money Setup is the name of the book.
Send me the link so I can copy it and pin it in the comments.
Both of them are in your DM, Miss.
Okay.
Now, is this Real Talk with Tamara or Real Talk with Tamara? What? Go say your name.
It's both. Can I give you a short story?
See, now you just a black woman.
Listen, my mother,
and you gonna use whichever one they want to use. You just gonna let them do what they want.
I like Tamara. My dad asked me one time, why do you tell people that your name is Tamara? I said, because that's my name. He said, I named you Tamara. And my mama said, no, I named her Tamara.
See what I'm saying? The man said he made.
he argued. He said, no, you didn't even think of that name. You know, I named her Tamara.
I knew I was right. I was saying Tamara, but I like Tamara.
That's what I go by, Tamara.
So, Real Talk. But
people call me Tamara and Tamara. I just answer both because believe it or not, my dad's sisters call me Tamara.
But there's a great thing you got going. The show's still going. Congratulations to you. I told you the first time, you're one of the few outspoken Black women who have a platform. I'm gonna do everything in my power to continue to help it grow. And we proud of you, Tamara.
Thank you. my dad is passed away, he would be happy
Yeah,
to
we
know
we are
that
proud of you because
somebody chose to call me Tamara. He couldn't even pronounce Tamara. He would say Tambra. I can't even pronounce that name that you gave yourself. My mama said I gave her that name.
more importantly, you're impacting the people. You're bringing them information. You're bringing them motivation, upliftment, and so your mother and your father who looking down, they should be proud of you.
Oh, thank you, darling. I appreciate that so much. I appreciate you, coming on the show and blessing us. People was already anticipating when I put it up on the wall that you was gonna come because hey, they know you always give a mixture of you're gonna teach something and then you're gonna drop some tea that a lot of people don't know. And hey, I was looking at the comments when you said Juke went over there to the jail and talk to Cornelius. I mean, I was looking at that like it was jaw dropping to a lot of the people in the chat. So I really
They have the records of that though. They do. I mean, if you just think about this, your partner locked up. You $50,000. You're not going to talk to him. I think you're going to talk to him to make sure you want to take this 50,000 over there. I think
yeah.
you go. I think you want to, and I don't think you want to talk on that jail phone.
Well, yeah, he wanted to see what his energy, what the energy was like. But I tell you, so many people have lost their lives, whether it was directly or indirectly. Um, as it relates to young Dolph losing his life. Hey, Memphis really lost a legend
They really
because he
did.
was so before his time. He was, and people tried to hold him back and wanted to talk about him. But if he had been if he had just been talking about doing it and was not showing the fruits of the labor, he had the fruits to show.
Absolutely, absolutely. And
And I think a
I
lot of
want
people had
everybody
issues with
listening.
that.
I want everybody listening to know that you can have the fruits too. And this man made, he was first, and the industry is just now catching up to what he was doing. But he made me and so many other people, go and do the work to be able to empower young people to have their own situation. In essence, what he stood for is still going to get carried on because look what's happening. The industry is switching to independence. I'm here, have a mechanism to empower the independents. People like you, Visha, are trying to educate the independent artists. So what this man stood for, what he was doing, what they hated him for, what he's legendary for, is still going on, and that they cannot stop.
Absolutely. Now, do you think that quietly, like a lot of these labels are going broke? Do you think they're having money
No,
issues?
hell no. No, that's not the case. No. If you notice this one thing, check this out. Think about this. Um, Historically, the labels have never collected money for shows. So the only way that they have made money over all of these years is the intellectual property and the publishing. That's how much money is in it. They own skyscrapers, buildings in New York, buildings in LA. They pay thousands of people. They employ thousands of people on payroll. They hand out millions of dollars in deals, and they've never collected show money. They never collected their money that the artist thinks is so much. No, that's not the money. Duh. You feel
Hold on,
what
Mr.
I'm
N.
saying?
Somebody just called. I don't know how. Oh, let me see. I'm calling back.
you
I
calling
saw a
people
missed
back.
call. I just
You
happened to look.
calling people back
Sometimes,
now.
yeah, I know. Sometimes the phone won't ring. Um, but a lot of times when you call them back, they don't have the nerve to talk. They won't answer the phone. They forwarded the call. They didn't want. I guess they didn't really want nothing anyways. Okay, I may have made a mistake and called him.
You may have made a mistake and called this man, and he's laying next to his woman, and it came up real talk with Tamara. No, that ain't
Yeah.
cool right there. That ain't cool at all, man. You know. But much love to everybody who listened in tonight. We greatly appreciate y'all. I never ask that people agree. You know, whether you agree or disagree. I still appreciate you tuning in. You know, I'm not one of those guys, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm well versed in this whole game and this whole situation. So we appreciate your support and you guys tuning in. Much love and support to you, Tamara, and let's do it again. Let's not stay away too long.
Thank you, Mr. N, for coming on to the show. I love you and Justice for Dolph, okay, for coming in and
Thank
blessing the
you.
chat. Until next time, Mr. N,
Until
thank you
next
so much.
time.
Listen, I want to thank everybody for tuning in to the show. I got some homework, so I would stay on a little while longer, but y'all know I got to get my homework in by 11:59 tonight. But I appreciate everybody that supports the channel. You all know that it really mean a lot to me. Hey, that you all tune in, even the ones that's in the bushes. I thank you, and thank you so much. Nothing for the $50 super chat. I appreciate.
$50. They sent
Yeah,
you $50.
$50. I'm telling you, I'm shoot. Y'all keep on. I'm listen.
Y'all get, hey man, you got it going then. They
I,
sent me
I,
50.
I took nothing. I'm trying to figure out when I go back in the next 10 days what color I'm gonna get my nails. I got that dark blue yesterday. I don't know what color I'm gonna get. I think I might get that light pink or something like that in silver. I love
Well,
vibrant
good luck to
colors.
your nails.
So
And thank y'all for
I know that's girly stuff, right? Listen, y'all, I appreciate y'all tuning in. This was a good show. It was a good show. It was lighthearted. It was not heavy or anything like that. Mr. N always come on and do his thing. We appreciate Mr. N so much for coming up and hey, I think he stayed here with us last time for 3 hours, and I kind of get to rambling because like I'm thinking like, is this something that I forget to ask him? Like we want to talk about the young dog stuff, but then he makes talking about the education part of it so interesting, and I think that all young artists need to. This is something that Young Dolph was pushing anyways in the beginning. I think that people knew about it, but they wanted to try and hide it so that they can continuously take advantage of the artist, right? They want to take advantage of the artist, but you got people like Mr. Ian now that's coming out and actually showing them the blueprint. I'm going to put in his book and all of that. I'm going to put the link in the chat so that you all could click on it and make sure that you all especially because I have quite a few artists that be listening in. Finesse, no, he needs to click at the link. Okay, I don't mean no harm, but Finesse, I know Finesse is a fan of the show because he started following me on Instagram, and I was really shocked because I don't even be on Instagram like that, right? I might check Instagram once ever so often, but I saw that it's his page. He started following me on Instagram like around like December, even before I even put pictures on Instagram, a whole lot of pictures on Instagram. At one time, he might still be following me. Like Paper Route Woo has started following me, and Jessica Dime Piece follows, and it might be some more people that follow. I just don't know because I'm still figuring Instagram out. So I'm gonna find a way. I'm gonna get my daughters to help me to unlock my Instagram so that because it's locked or something where you have to ask to be a friend or something like that. So anyways, you guys, like I said, I love you all. I want you. Oh, make sure if you're up at 7 o'clock in the morning, We've been getting the praying line going. People have been getting on. I appreciate it. It's 15 minutes of prayer. It's like prayer on the go. And hey, I've had some faithful people getting on. What we do is it's really strength for the day. Like when you tune in, and I don't care who you are, you can get on. And what I do is I have a scripture um that I read, and then I give everybody the opportunity if they want to, if they have something that they would like to pray about, and then we all come into agreement on the prayer, right? And so I just thank God for I get up in the morning like and meditate, and then I ask God to just give me a scripture that's going to help each and every one of us that is on the line, and then we come into agreement. And I do believe that a lot of what people are putting before the throne of grace, as far as like if they may have some ailments, God is going to, because sickness is not of God. If you having financial trouble, all you got to do is believe. Um, for believing prosperity, like all of that, we come into agreement. And I tell people all the time, like, you have to have a spirit of expectancy. I think that's the reasons, one of the reasons why, God is, even when, because everything is not all hunky-dory for me, okay? But I think that's one of the reasons why God blesses me, because I always have a spirit of expectancy, even when it does not look good, okay? It might not look good, but I'm always looking over my shoulder saying, God, I know you said you came to give us life and give us life more abundantly. It is illegal. Listen, therefore, it is illegal for you to be broke, busted, and disgusted. And that's why I always refuse to be. I say all the time, I refuse to have any lack. I refuse to live paycheck to paycheck, because that does not line up with the word of God, right? I don't have a poor poverty mindset. And it's so funny how people get mad at folks that don't. I don't have a poverty mindset. No, I don't think like that. Like I don't struggle. Even if I'm not rich, I don't have a struggle mindset. I have an expectancy of what God says. I came to give you life abundantly, right? And so I know all those things that I ask for, it shall be added to me, right? And so I think that's where what we all have to start um doing, okay? You know what, Paige? I haven't had I really have not um thought about that. I don't serve Buddha. I don't serve Allah. Okay. So um I haven't thought that far. I don't go, oh, I wonder if their guys are real. I don't I don't really get that deep into that, right? My thing is people I tell people to do what they want to do as it relates to whatever they serve. Okay, just make sure it ain't the devil. Okay, because now when people sit up and talk about their God, you have to ask them what kind of God you serve. They be so damn evil. Okay, I tell my girls that all the time. Everybody don't serve the God that you serve just because they say my God. You see how evil their asses is. You get to wondering what you have to ask them. What kind of God do you serve? I think that's a wise question to start asking them. I do. I don't have no issues with it. Um, says nodding, but yes, that's what I just hell yeah. He's he has to be the truth. Anyways, you guys, let me get off of here and do my school work and stuff. I love you all. Like I said, go to my Real Talk with Tamara page on Facebook, and I got the information on the prayer line pinned at the top of the page. Okay. No problem, Paige. Thank you, DDP. I love you all. You all sleep peacefully tonight. Don't forget to pray, okay? Talk to you later.